Want to reach Night Talks Radio? That's easy. Simply dial 1-507-384-9390.
What is going on that would be something that would be censored? I mean, give me a break. We're off the rocker here in the United States with a lot of this stuff, with cancel culture, with big tech censorship, with a lot of stuff that the federal government's doing, policing so-called misinformation. We need to get back on kilter and start having a free society again and embracing truth. So I think it's part and parcel of a lot of the nonsense we've seen over the last many years.
We've got one hope. A bomb.
4, 3, 2, 1.
They just fired a starting gun.
Oppenheimer in theaters now. Rated R. hard, get dough. I can't get no sleep, please make my life more simple. Miles inside these shoes so I don't stomp, I tiptoe. Fell 1,000 times and still I roll no limp though. But I wouldn't trade a thing for what I have. I go hard, do what I need to make it last. They say the good die young, I hope I'm back. Cheers to my past, I'm doing great now, just in case they ask. In the booth and I lay it down, I might take a nap. And they thought I was playing around, I was up like my tax. Living fast, over limit on the freeway, hope no cops pass. Had to dip out for a minute, yeah that's my bad. But I can't stay for too long, I gotta go. I grab my bag and hit the dash, yeah adios. I drop the clutch and slam the gas, and it's vamonos. If you're not first and you're in last, Ricky Bobby quote, you gotta know. Work hard, get dough.
Streaming to you live from Spreaker.com and somewhere deep in the great upper Midwest. If you're ready for a ride, you can call NTR anytime by dialing the nationwide caller line at 1-507-384-9390. First-time callers can reach Night Talks Radio at 1-507-307-4424. Text Daniel and NTR exclusively at 1-218-689-7126. Now, from somewhere in the great upper Midwest, here's your hosts, Daniel Brewer and Jennifer Gregerson.
Work hard, get dough. I can't get no sleep, please make my life more simple. Miles inside these shoes so I don't stomp, I tiptoe. Fell 1,000 times and still I roll no limp though. But I wouldn't trade a thing for what I had.
Welcome. Sunday evening in Red Lake Falls, Minnesota, the great upper Midwest. As always, I have my very special friend and co-host, Jennifer Gregerson. Jennifer, how are you doing on this beautiful upper Minnesota night?
Well, I am wonderful. I am sitting outside here on the deck, and I'm enjoying the breeze.
Well, that is a good thing. Breezes are always good,
Yes,
especially when
it's beautiful.
temperatures are near 110 and 120, which we've been blessed, I guess you could say, due to the fact that those temperatures have avoided us. We have eluded them.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like I said, it was beautiful this weekend when we were talking earlier, Daniel.
Yeah, the temperature I don't think has gone past 85, I would say. And the nighttime lows are somewhere in the realm of, I would say, 55, 54. I've even seen at about 3 or 4 in the morning temps in the lows of like 46 and 45. So, just absolutely astounding, Mother Nature. Thank you very much. And keep it up, will you? Okay, so, Jennifer, we have a shortened sort of version of the show today. Our first hour is going to be somewhat normal. We're going to hit on the top stories of the day in the past couple of days. And we're going to be talking about astronomical insights and top news and things like that, as always. And probably touch on some other things that Jennifer could be hiding in her brain. But we will have to find out. And then after that, in hour 2, we are going to have a very special guest for you. Okay. Her name is Elizabeth. Okay. She had some troubled times as far as the law. Let's put it that way. Now, the things that she was doing were questionable. Where she ended up, not so questionable. But it's what happened within the confines of the far left judicial system and prisons around the nation. We'll get to names and things like that in hour 2 with her. But it's going to be quite an amazing show. If you cannot tell, the title of the show, Left of Bang, is going to be very oriented around first responders, police officers, and people that do critical, responsible jobs and careers and things of that nature. How much they truly are needed. And then in the second hour, like I said, with Elizabeth, we'll see the dark side of what happens in the nation's prisons. I want to make very clear that these are 2 different things that we are speaking of. Okay? Prisons versus outside law enforcement, first responders, and so on and so forth. Do you agree with me, Jennifer?
Yes, I do actually agree. I agree 100% on that one.
We don't want the audience to get confused in any type of way. Okay. This has nothing to do with law enforcement that say yell at your name from the ground to the second story window if they need you.
right.
Okay. Yeah, so it's not about the good guy law enforcement.
No.
Okay, and police officers and first responders and things like that. This has to do with the far left and the events that take place inside penitentiaries around the nation. There's more focused areas in the nation. And we will be taking a look at one of those facilities.
Actually, 3.
3? So,
3.
So Elizabeth was in 3 different facilities?
Yeah, first she was in county jail, and then she went to, it was Alderson, and then it was Danbury.
Okay, and where are these, do you know right offhand where these are located?
No, I don't offhand. She'll let us know.
Okay. Do you even know if it was the same state, perhaps?
No, they weren't in the same state.
Okay. Yeah, we'll ask her, obviously.
One of them, actually, she had to fly out to... she had to fly out from Alderson to Danbury, and when she flew out there, they actually put them in some kind of a airplane. It was kind of like Con Air. I mean, it literally, started on fire as they were getting on the plane.
And they still flew them.
They continued flying them, yeah. And she said there was duct tape on the seats and everything, and it's like the seatbelts didn't work and everything. She'll explain all that.
Holy shit, it was like Con Air.
Yeah.
I hate to do it, but, small plug, by the way.
Yeah.
Con Air, great picture.
Right.
No, I absolutely, prisoner or not, I would not get on a fucking plane like that.
No.
I wouldn't get on a fucking plane, period.
No.
Okay, after the story that we got about the Dallas-Fort Worth air show collision.
Yeah, that was crazy, too.
It's just reason 6,742 on why I don't even come close to stepping on the very first step leading to the interior of an aircraft.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll get to that within this hour. And of course, Elizabeth, like I said, will be with us the start of the second hour. So if you have any comments, questions, whatever have you, you can start to call in at the beginning of the second hour. I would say, 10 minutes in, Jennifer?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, and of course, we'll give the numbers that you can call to speak with Elizabeth on NTRN tonight. Everything's going to be hunky-dory. Okay, Jennifer, I am passing the ball to you. What
right.
do we have?
Well, first of all, I wanted to say thank you for everyone who participated in Red Lake Falls Summerfest. It was a pretty good turnout, and everyone enjoyed themselves, so thank you very much on that one.
No, it really a great event. The only thing that I would say about the event is, make it a scotch bigger.
Yeah, I think they
need
to do more things on Sunday too. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, like if it goes from so did it start Wednesday? No, it started Thursday.
It started mostly on Thursday.
Okay, so do little things on Wednesday.
Right.
Okay. For perhaps townsfolk and things like that. Then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, make it big time.
Well, I know on Monday they start with the golfing tournament. And then after that, I'm assuming Thursday is when it kicks off the car show, and then after car show it kicks off the meal, and then
which
it goes
are
on
all
with the rest.
cool things.
Right.
But now let's focus on, like, say, the children.
Yeah.
Okay, the kids.
Right.
Car show, cool. Stuff, free hamburgers and hot dogs, whatever. But, they want some rides.
Yeah.
Okay? Not just a bouncy tent.
Yeah.
Okay? But, make it more like Pennington County, in a way. And now, obviously, I know Red Lake Falls does not have the funds to do something like that, like Pennington County, okay?
Right.
But I'm saying do like a quarter.
Yeah, like a little tiny carnival.
Of the Pennington County Fair scale.
Down at the park, kind of, little tiny carnival type thing.
Right, exactly. And do it right where most of the activity's going down anyway. Right over there by Joe DiMaggio's.
Right.
Sports Bar and Grill. Plug. Yeah, do it all right there in the parking lot.
Right, but it's not Joe DiMaggio's anymore.
Oh, well, shitballs.
Yeah.
I plugged the wrong place. Okay, what's the name of it?
I think it's Sporties or something like that.
Sporties?
Or
Sporties.
I'm
Okay,
not
regardless,
sure.
plug. For sports.
The sports bar over there, yes. Plug.
So, but no, that would be, and it's not even a complaint really. It's just I think maybe go just a bit bigger, and it would be and Sunday. Sunday count it.
Add Sunday in.
It shouldn't be the day that you're cleaning up. That should be reserved for Monday. Sunday should be a full day of activity for everybody, from kids to adults. So
Right, yeah. Maybe they should do like a talent show, or they should do like a puppet show for the kids, or something for the kids too.
Yeah, do a talent show. I can show off my skills and abilities
or something. That would be kind of cute. Little kids talent show, type thing or something.
Right. Well, I could jump in and I could show my skills and abilities at working a studio and fixing audio problems within like 2
your
seconds.
Skills and ability would be changing your voice.
And oh yeah, I could do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, boomerang.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I am pretty pleased with myself, I must say, speaking of talent, that it only took me like 36 hours to solve the audio issue.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get used to this, about the whole
the reason why I was giving you the dagger eye,
but why
is that
I don't wear my headphones.
You were talking like you had a stroke.
Yeah, I don't
just
know.
Yesterday.
I don't know why I'm not wearing my headphones. I don't understand that. I'm used to wearing my headphones, and now I'm not wearing my headphones. So please explain.
First off, one of the first things I was told in radio, is that you're never gonna fucking learn.
So am I not supposed to wear my headphones at all through this whole entire
thing? So right
thing?
now it's fine for you to keep them on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and see, you see what I'm doing here?
Yeah, I see.
I'm able to ignore. Do you understand?
Oh, yes.
You obviously could not, because you looked like a lost baby sparrow trying to find its fucking mother.
Oh yes.
And your speech was just a smite off. I would have drug tested you.
Well, we love those birds, don't we? Mr. Chris from the White House absolutely loves his birds.
Oh, absolutely. He was attacked by a crow.
Yes.
Critical condition.
Crows are horrible.
We'll get some news on him as soon as we can.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I told him just to watch out. Don't go out there, with a head of steam and trying to go after them. They're pretty smart creatures. And,
they might be forming an alliance on him.
You're gonna get a beat down.
They might be forming an alliance on him. They might be coming after him.
Well, hey, I told him. I said, let it cool down for a little bit, man.
Yeah. They'll
get out of town, take a vacation, do something.
Right, they'll group up on him. I think the crow probably wanted his beer, maybe. That's what it was.
Could have been going for the Paps.
Yeah, the Paps.
I warned him about that as well.
Yeah.
I said you figure something else out with the Paps.
Well, now maybe he's got to have, what is it, Molson or whatever you said?
Is that how you say it? Molson?
Is it Molson?
Hey, can you pass me one of those Molsons, sir?
Is it Molson? Molson? What is it?
Molson Canadian.
Molson Canadian, so maybe that's what he has to have now, from now on.
Molson Canadian hockey night in Canada.
Maybe the crow was saying, hey, man, you're drinking the wrong beer.
Yeah, but he didn't. The crow didn't have to get violent, though.
No, he didn't have to.
I mean, that was super aggressive.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, if I was law enforcement and I showed up on that one, the crow would have been in cuffs.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if I was law enforcement, I would have taken my baseball bat, and the crow would have been,
If you were in the state of Minnesota, though, unfortunately, both Chris and the crow would be going. Not going. They would be given a citation for disorderly conduct.
Yep. That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
So you got to watch out for that too.
Yeah, it's a bad deal. It's a bad deal. Minnesota has very, very bad rules about that one.
So essentially, the crow would get away with the attack on Chris.
Right.
Chris didn't do a damn thing.
Yeah.
But he's going to get a disorderly conduct too for saying something back to the crow.
Yeah.
So you just let the crow beat the shit out of you?
Yeah.
Is that what you do?
Yeah. Only Minnesota rules. Anyway.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right,
Go ahead.
so,
We'll talk. We'll keep you updated on Chris's condition.
Yeah.
You should be up and back around doing sun sometime in 2026.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Go ahead.
All right. Well, here we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna open it up with the opening poem that we always do. It's not from the Black Book. Again, it is from
the Black Book
me.
poem.
This poem is titled America, and America is supposed to be the land of the free, where everyone can be whatever they want to be, where dreams are meant to come true and you can be you. At least this is what we once knew. Now America is lost, with all the crimes, the mental illness, and everyone playing the race card. Look, we know times are hard, but it's not a time for shame or blame. It's not a time for running away. We will bring America back someday, where it's safe for our children to go outside and play, and people won't get in trouble to pray. Most of all, where we will be able to say what's on our mind, to rewind the time. But right now, all we can do is face it, make the best of it, because time is moving fast and it won't last. It's time to stand up and bring back the past to where America was the land of the free, and you can be whatever you want to be. So there you go.
Love that.
That's so
absolutely true. Love that.
So true.
Is did you say that was original or out of the Black Book?
No, I wrote that myself.
That was great. You know what that reminded me of right away?
What?
Travis Tritt.
Oh.
Jason Aldean.
Okay.
Okay. Those two black brothers.
Yeah.
Who are hilarious.
Right.
They're twins, actually.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah, that seems to be the thing. Finally.
Yeah.
People are not apologizing.
No.
Okay? And in the first place, there is no reason to apologize.
No.
You see?
Unfortunately, right now we have to, kind of go forward with it and everything, but that doesn't mean that we can't stand up for what we believe. And, America used to be all about equality, everything, not their equality, but our equality, where everyone was equal. It wasn't the race card, or anything like that. There's so much of that going on these days and everything. Where America used to be, where it was the land of the free. You could be whatever you wanted to be. You could be a doctor, a lawyer, you could do whatever you wanted to do. You could talk anything. You could say what was on your mind. You could pray in public, anything like that. Nowadays, it's like it's a sin to even do any of that, and stuff because of the far left government.
Well, the American flag is a sin, apparently.
Yep.
Okay. Our military is a sin.
Yeah.
Okay. The people who protect us every day and every night. Same with law enforcement, first responders. Mm-hmm. Saying the word freedom. Okay. If you just straight up love your nation.
Yeah.
Okay. It's all. This is all, punishable sins. These are horrible things. The main one, of course, being God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
You essentially cannot show any signs.
No.
That you're devoted to God. Your religion is all about God. Anything like that, and it's time to step up and take it back. Okay.
Right.
It's as simple as that. What the far left is trying to do is change our entire sort of existence, how we grew up, how we learned, what we were taught, okay, values, living in a small town.
Yep,
okay?
Exactly.
They're trying to take that all away. The school system is, absolutely far left.
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
Socialistic. Our daughter not going to school at all. She will be home taught.
And here's the thing is that, we can get people to stand up, but the thing is, how many people have they already corrupted already? That's going to go right into a circle again, and you're always going to have those people that are going to be calling you're a racist, always going to be in their head, and stuff, and then it's going to be circling around the whole entire world again, and then it's going to pass on to the next generation, they're going to pass it on to their kids, and their kids going to pass it on, because that's the way they were taught.
Well, here's the deal.
I mean?
Here's the deal with that.
Right now, you've got the old heads that were taught that, racism was the norm back then, and stuff. So now they think that racism is okay and everything like that here. Where we think that it's wrong,
You're speaking of
we
older black people, correct?
Well, older people in general. Okay. Older people were brought up that way, but
let's make that very clear,
yeah.
that older white people do not think racism is okay.
No, but you got the older people that are the black,
okay.
They think that...
But there are plenty of, we're speaking the plain truth here, there are plenty of older...
Yeah, older generations.
I would say 70s, 80s black individuals who absolutely believe that everything is racism.
Yeah, but there are some whites that do still have racism against the blacks too, and stuff. So that's you're almost unfortunately mimicking what the mainstream media is saying, because if you were born in the South, for example, you were called racist because you valued the rebel flag. No. Okay. But slavery was an issue, it's
but
all the way they were brought up. That's what I'm saying.
It was the way you were brought up.
Yeah.
Okay. But the fact of the matter is, slavery has been over with.
Yep.
Okay.
I agree.
And I think the most, obviously, the people who benefited the most were black people, obviously, and we're not just talking your standard benefits here. They rose to the top. Mm-hmm. White individuals are the minority at this point.
Right.
And like I said, I'm just putting a truthful spin on this.
Yeah.
It's not about equality, okay, whatsoever with BLM. And Candace Owens completely blew them apart anyway last year.
Yeah.
And of course, we talked about the George Floyd situation.
Yep.
And all that, but Black Lives Matters. They don't care about Black lives. No, they want. It's all about the money.
Yeah.
Okay, that they're given to go to different cities and absolutely destroy those cities. And some of which actually live there.
Yeah.
Dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
You're destroying and fucking up your own city.
Yeah.
Okay, like your land value is 0 now. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Nobody is going to go there anymore. You do realize that, right?
Yeah.
As you throw your Molotov cocktail into the local, grocery store that you
Right.
buy your fucking 40 ounce from.
Right.
Okay? I mean, just speaking the truth here, that Jason Aldean video, too, yeah, he absolutely picked that spot because there happened to be a lynching 102 years ago there.
Yeah, right.
That's exactly why he picked that.
Yeah.
Did you know that scene is depicted in Disney movies,
Oh, I'm sure.
a multitude of other things?
I'm sure.
I don't recall anybody from the far left saying that was racist.
Right.
But nope, Jason Aldean does it.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, country white boy. Now, try that in a small town. That's racist as shit, pal. You know 102 years ago what happened here.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
not really, because I'm fucking 43.
Yeah. All
So-
right, so
Now, I got a lot more to say about that. We'll save that for another time. But what do you gotta say?
well, I don't know. We've got her coming on here shortly, and stuff. I don't know
Well,
what we're
she,
gonna go through here.
Elizabeth, our guest,
Yeah.
will be coming on in about 35 minutes.
Yeah, so let's see if we can go ahead and get through.
Let's throw this thing into gear. Do we need a lightning bolt to kick it up?
Well, we're gonna go
Let's
through
do-
the
Whoa!
horoscopes. So tomorrow's horoscope.
Here we go.
We have Aries. Jump on board the fast train and see how far it takes you.
Jump on board the fast train.
Yes, you'll be surprised.
What do I do,
at
conductor?
how far you can go with minimum effort. You'll have to rewind, or you'll have to you'll have
what?
the wind.
Where?
Sorry, you'll have
Who?
the wind at your back. So make the most of this energy by aiming for the top and not resting until you get there.
So then don't get a job with CPKC. Whoops,
All right.
there it goes. By the way, if I had any idea of going back to CP, not going to call him CPKC, by the way, there it goes.
Yeah. All right, Taurus. Flexibility is an important part of your day. Take a relaxed, laid-back approach.
Take some
Try
LSD.
to aim your ideas trying to aim your ideas.
Get some electric Kool-Aid in you.
Trying
I bet
to-
Chris knows what I'm talking
aim
about.
your ideas through isn't the best tactic right now. Keep an open mind and be receptive to others' ideas and opinions. Have a lot of power ready
No.
and available.
My word goes, that's it.
And don't waste time, as things may look up later on.
Alright, that's good stuff.
All right, Gemini. Okay, so don't be pressured into something you don't want to do. Nervous relentlessness may urge you to act. Don't let others boss you around. Secure your position and be strong. Try
All
not
right.
to be tempted into situations that you don't want to be in.
Move on up to those 25-pound weights, pal.
Cancer. Lock into the practical grounding force of the day.
Whoa, lock into what?
The practical grounding force of the day.
Oh, okay.
Attend to details and organize yourself. Be aware that you may need to alter your course a bit in order to fit the group dynamic. Try to work with those around you to achieve your goal. And
Yeah.
initiating the help of others is easier than you think and will help you stay focused.
Yes.
Leo, today is one of those days in which prosperity
Leo,
is much closer
meow.
than you think. Take a step forward and go full force. You'll probably looking for
Full
solid
force.
answers to your deep probing questions. Excuse me.
You're gonna get probed?
Deep probing
Oh,
questions.
okay.
So if you've had things that have been on your mind for a while, you'll be a little bit
I was
more
gonna say, fuck that one.
apt to get the answers.
Not getting probed.
Don't let your inquisitive mind rest until you find the answers.
Ooh, Inquisitors. We just remember Inquisitors from Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah. Virgo.
I am so random, by the way.
Indecisions may leave you helpless at the crossroads today.
At the
Others
crossroads.
may be just
Bone,
as undecided
Thugs and
regarding
Harmony.
which way to go. You're tired of waiting for others, so make the first move.
And do it yourself.
Yep.
Get it done.
Your choice is always the right one if you believe it is so.
What's that saying? If you want it done right, do it your fucking self.
I put, if you believe, you will achieve. That's my saying.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, like like I said, I'm like, what's his name from the Trailer Park Boys? The judge. Like, Judge, I have to be honest with you. Please don't put me in jail, but I have to say fuck. It's a part of my language. Shit, stuff like that. Like, I'm not being rude. I'm not, whatever. But I have to say fuck.
Right.
You understand?
All right.
Okay.
So,
All right,
Libra. Watch on.
Whoa.
Latch on
What?
to expansiveness that comes more connected to your social area, it says.
Wow. You kind of comped out of that one.
Yeah, I just screwed up on that one. Hold on a second.
Who was that?
Right now. Just 1 second.
Who was that?
Libra, latch on to things that come into your social area. Connection is the key. If you go with the flow, you will land exactly where you need to be. Take the adventurous route, and there's no need to pin yourself down to one route, as there are way more things to do other directions.
Unfortunately, that route's going to lead you right to prison for about 15 years.
Scorpio. Kimmy and Karen, Scorpio.
Kimmy? You think she's awake?
Yes. Connect
Okay.
with the stable, grounded
Hi,
energy
Kimmy.
of the day.
How you doing?
Be aware that tension may come in a form of fast talk and information, or misinformation, excuse me. Fast talk and misinformation.
Like your country's government?
Wait for the dust to settle before you pick a road to travel. Impulse decisions may lead
She
you
can't pick a
down
road to travel. The
paths
fucking
that
government's
aren't
got it
the
all
best
blocked off.
choice for you now. Relax and try not to think about it too much. Yes.
We do have a story, by the way.
We do have a story, but I haven't had a chance to look through it yet.
Oh my god, did you hear that, Kimmy?
I'm so sorry.
Thank God that you have a good host.
Yeah, if you've read it, you go right
of a
ahead with that
great
story. Okay, anyway.
Worldwide show.
Here we go. Sagittarius. All right. You could get the feeling that you've lost your touch with reality. Make sure you connect with real life.
I do that every day.
Do a bit of planning to balance your whimsical side, and things that you haven't accounted for might crop up to serve as a reminder that you need to deal with your real life. So basically, you have to deal with real life is basically what it's saying there.
So you do have to deal with real life?
There's no way around it. You have to deal with your real life.
Ah, fuck. Remember The Office? It's like, isn't like some sort of medicine you give me?
Yeah,
so I can
right.
just like pretend that I'm not at work, or I'm not living life,
Yeah, right.
So, like, they talk about fucking stocks and markets and stuff like that. If you could create a drug like that,
Yeah.
boom.
Right.
Elon Musk, who?
Capricorn, walk to the beat of your own drum. If you try to latch onto some smooth talking, fast-paced information of the day, your voice could get lost in the crowd. You might deprive yourself of spontaneous events that prove the most fulfilling. So basically make the most of it and follow your voice.
You know what? I don't have anything to say about that one.
Yeah?
I'm just going to leave it be.
Okay.
Alright?
Alright, Aquarius. Connect with the fellow sitting next to you, or perhaps the woman behind you in the line at the store.
The
He or
woman behind
she
you.
could
You're
share
right
a
behind
piece
me.
of wisdom that changes your life forever.
Like that woman that gave you $100 back when I was getting back with CP for like the second time, just
Right?
because.
Right. They helped me out, yeah.
Like you have like
Be aware
this
that
magical
you
ability.
also could be that person who changes someone else's life too. Communication
Well, they're
is
probably
the key
paying it
to
forward.
expanding your world in many ways. Yeah, pay it forward. I like
I mean, she was just literally like, "Oh dear," like we weren't even like, and she's just like, "Here's a brand new crispy $100 bill."
right.
Like you, ever since 10 years I've known you, like people just hand you, like you don't ask, in most cases. They just hand you like a wad of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Might be a little blood on it or like
yeah,
white residue,
okay.
but whatever. You can dust that stuff off. You know, I said they got antibacterial spray.
You're crazy. All right, Pisces.
You
Your
don't
self-esteem
know
may
what
be
crazy
challenged
is.
today by a fast talker or unpleasant situation.
Fast talker.
Don't accept things at first glance. There's a much
I
deeper
never-
meaning brewing below the surface.
Okay.
Big promises.
Would that be
may
the
not be
Yellowstone
all
volcano?
They've advised to be. So stick to your guns and stay grounded.
Did you know that's why we're supposedly taking over Russia with Ukraine and NATO, so we can move everybody from North America to get away from the Yellowstone supervolcano that is going to go off very soon, according to not a madman Putin.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's a legit reason.
Yeah,
like
I know,
they said,
I know.
it's as legit as them saying we have to invade Poland to stop them from attacking you,
Yeah.
Ukraine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I mean, wait a second. For almost 2 years now, you've been trying to kill Ukraine, okay,
Yeah.
and then take it back, okay. But now since you're not winning and being pushed back, now the guys is we gotta fucking attack NATO and Poland, man, because Poland is coming in. They're gonna fucking get you, and we
Right.
have to protect you, man.
Yep.
It's like, wait a second, but Putin, I don't know if I believe you. You know what? I have some questions.
Yeah.
Okay, specifically your Shaitan 2s aimed right at Poland.
Yeah.
What's that all about, pal?
I don't
You know,
know.
Ukraine, Kiev. What's going on?
Yeah.
Also, that there's about to be 5 of you, separatists, through 5 different sections of Russia, the
Right.
Russian Federation. Prigozhin, who is now a world leader.
I'm not sure what time to have her call in, so you want to double check on that one? All right, so
What
music types
am I,
associated...
a secretary now?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Music
go ahead.
types
Read your thing.
You can message her what time you want to call in for sure.
Can
Music-
I? Am I allowed?
Yes, please. Music,
She's only the guest on the show.
music types associated with your zodiac. All right, Aries, are you ready? Rock.
Yes.
You
Paper?
are ever bold
Scissors?
Aries, never misses an opportunity to jam to some old rock.
I never miss an opportunity.
No.
You know
The
what? I
fire
am down
sign
with some
loves-
Rush and
You are a
Def
fire
Leppard.
sign who loves an upbeat song, and nothing pumps that adrenaline like rock.
Bingo,
Taurus.
bango.
R&B is your music type. True blue romantics with a pinch of spice. The only genre that could ever resonate with a Taurus's personality is R&B.
Okay.
Pop and dance is Geminis. They are known to have multiple sides to their personalities. While their social butterfly side comes out often, the air sign also likes to enjoy some quality time by themselves. Country is Cancers, and the sensitive soul
Did
of
you say
the zodiac-
country is cancerous?
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, fuck, that's racist.
Country is Cancer's music type. Okay? The sensitive souls of the zodiac tribe is what Cancer is. They love songs that speak to their soul. Catchy beats with deep, meaningful lyrics are the way to a Cancer's heart in their playlist. Leo likes hip hop, quite passionate in life, and have a vulnerable side that few are privy to. And Virgo likes classical music. The only music genre that truly resonates with Virgos is classical music, because Virgo needs their music taste to be just like their personality. A genre that not only brings out their intellect, but also
intellect, yeah.
makes them feel at ease.
Okay, very good.
I didn't know that. I like classical music. I'm Virgo,
Yeah.
but I like all kinds of musics too. But yes, classical does make it a little bit more soothing. So, Libra likes holiday music. Undeniable love for holiday music. Why? Because they are basically fall winter people who just cannot wait to enjoy the cozy weather and celebrate the spirit of festivities. Alternative rock is Scorpio. Kimmy and Karen.
Come on!
Alternative rock. You enjoy brooding, dark music that has romantic lyrics. A sign that is often mistaken to have a scary exterior. Scorpios have a special connection with their emotional side. They like to let loose only around people they feel safe with. Alternative rock will allow you to walk into the world of your inner feelings and thoughts while being cool about it exactly how you like it.
I'd have a response, but I'm too busy doing your job.
Rega. Is it Rega or Reggae? I've never even heard of this one before.
What?
Reggae. What the heck is that? That's what Sagittarius like.
Fuck.
Anyways,
Reggae?
Reggae? Okay.
Let me see it. Let me see the word. Let me show me the word here.
Yeah, it's Reggae.
Hold on. Let me get up out of the captain's chair.
Anyways, the ever-adventurous and experimental Sagittarius
Reggae.
has
It's reggae,
mostly
everybody.
only one thing on their mind, going a long island holiday.
Iced tea?
And when you are on the tropical island, the only music that will make you groove is reggae.
Hey man, come to Jamaica!
Oh, the fire sign truly respects spirituality and culture. Basically everything that reggae stands for. Capricorn, jazz. I did not know reggae.
Jazzy jazz.
Capricorn, jazz. The only genre that can make the hardworking and this practical earth sign happy is jazz. Sophisticated, dedicated, and truly a work of art. Jazz stands for everything. Everything
Yes.
Capricorn believes in, especially when it comes to music. Alright. Indie. Aquarius likes indie, the wild, independent
Indie.
spirit that refuses to stay calm.
Indian or indie?
Indie. Aquarius
Indie.
needs a good boost of some experimental yet earthy tones, aka indie music. The air sign always prefers music that makes them feel a certain kind of way, even if it's a blend of many different genres.
Genres?
Genres.
Did you just say genres?
Genres is what I said.
Oh, for
Genres.
God's sakes.
Pisces. Soft rock. For
Did you
the
say soft cock?
Soft rock.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
For the sensitive and forever long loving Pisces, soft rock
Soft mushroom head.
will fit their personality like a glove. The soft
Mushroom tip in a grass field.
Acoustics. I can't fucking do this. I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
God.
God, I'm sorry.
Raw emotions and groovy beats spark so much joy, which is what appeals to the water sign that likes feeling
Is that like a
secure.
miniature German walking around?
Would you stop? Oh my god! You are such
I'm done.
an ass.
I'm done. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
I'm all done.
Well, we were doing that. Kimmy did pop in, and she did say a little something here, so I'm going to go
Ooh.
ahead and tell you what Kimmy
She's
said.
If it's negative, I don't want to hear it.
No, it's not negative here, but hold on a second. She said that... Hold on one second. Woohoo! She says, I do like some alternative rock, she said.
See, spot on.
She said she likes Metallica, Megadeth, and Nirvana, and etc. So thank you, Kimmy, for calling in or texting in that information. Thank you so much.
Those groups and
It's
bands
always nice
are
to know where I'm at with all that. So.
absolutely essential.
Yeah?
To even beginning to like that genre.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
Like China genre.
So here we got an astronomical news.
Uh-oh.
A supermassive black hole
You got 7 minutes.
discovered, spinning giant, high-energy jet towards Earth.
Yay!
Don't panic. The powerful
Don't panic.
Blazar is located
The Hitchhiker's
400
Guide to the
million
Galaxy.
miles
Don't panic.
400 million light years from Earth. Don't panic, it says.
Don't panic.
Don't panic.
Don't
yeah.
panic. It's, I don't even think we'll know when it hits us. We'll just be gone.
Right. Says the actively feeding supermassive black hole is surrounded by a swirling disks of matter called a
swirling disc of Karens.
which gradually
pissed off
feed
Karens.
them over time. Some of the material then don't they don't
all
swallow.
of them at once.
is
Can I see
then
your manager?
channeled
Can I see your
toward
manager?
their
Can I see your
poles,
manager?
Where it's subsequently blasted out at near light or
All the Karens get superheated and
high
shoot
speed
towards
anyway
Earth.
that creates a highly energetic and extremely bright electromagnetic radiation known as blizzards. So, but don't panic.
I would call it a
Don't-
Karen
don't-
complaint. A massive, supermassive Karen complaint heated up to critical proportions, turned into a beam of, I want to see your manager. And then, boom, as soon as it hits Earth, all dead.
But don't panic, you know.
But don't panic.
No, don't panic. Don't panic at all.
And don't forget the answer to all things is 42. Plug, by the way. That is indeed a plug.
All right, let's get on over to the
Hitchhiker's Guide to the
NTRN
Galaxy.
news that you can use. All right, so doctors may have discovered the 12 symptoms of long haulers: loss of smell and taste, extreme malaise, chronic cough, not present before, brain fog, extreme thirst, heart
Which
palpitations.
brain fog is made up, by the way. Cognitive inability
Yeah. Strange heart movements.
and
chest
palpitations.
Pain, one location only. Tiredness, fatigue, will to do nothing even in an emergency. Extreme lack of sex drive. Sudden dizziness, random. Digestive system problems, breaking down food and having bowel issues.
150 million people.
And
Sorry.
sudden tremors. Last 5 minutes to more than a week.
Well, they can last 5 minutes up to over a week in
So-
certain situations.
The new COVID study was shown that 250 million people in the UK had a cognitive misfunction or skills recall skills. Misfunction on skills. Recall abilities. They had a hard time recalling abilities. Daily normal tasks. Speaking words were hard. Like they were under pressure, but they weren't under pressure.
They couldn't get the
at
right
the time.
words
Yeah.
out. Let's put it that way.
So
Whenever you've been stumped,
brain
that's
fog,
how-
cognitive dysfunction.
well, we feel.
It was found only
They're
in
both long
long-term,
haulers.
long-haul COVID patients. The study started March of 2023. The majority had difficulty in focusing.
Study ended
concentrating.
March 2023.
Oh, I'm sorry. The study ended.
Began
yes.
in 2021.
Yes, thank you so much for that. The study ended.
Absolutely. That's what a great host is here for.
Oh, thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Yeah, give yourself a pat on the back. All right.
I'm doing so right now.
Majority had difficulty in focusing, concentrating. They were unaware if they were in an emergency situation or not.
Well, they were more or less. Well, first off, their reward system.
Yeah.
Okay, that one usually gives themselves, like, okay, you've done something good, you're happy about it. Say you want to get a 12-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah.
Shout out, Chris. And you're happy about it. You want to have a great weekend.
Right.
Or you get a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what they were using as
For
an example.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
a Bobby
Yeah.
would paddle you over, and then 2 seconds later, after the police officer would walk away and he would come back, you would have no idea why you were pulled over and what you were doing wrong.
Oh, jeez.
And to people that are not affected by the long haul COVID,
Right.
they think you're fucking crazy. Okay.
Right.
And the same thing with the doctors when people were coming in early on saying, no, this is not anxiety. This is something else.
Yeah.
Okay? My heart is beating strange. This is what I did. I went to the hospital nearly 8 times in 1 month because I thought I was having a fucking heart attack.
Right. Right.
Okay? I am so glad that they have proven this now.
Yeah.
At least these top 12 signs. They don't know how it happens or progresses, but they know the signs.
Yeah.
Okay. So now to those doctors who thought you were just going in there to get Xanax or some pain medication, now you can bring this report to them and say, fuck you, assholes, okay?
Right.
So, but real bad stuff. You don't know if you're in a crisis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like say you're in Death Valley and you're driving your vehicle. Your vehicle is the radiator goes or something.
Yeah.
You just go, oh darn, you know, oh that sucks. You don't realize how much danger you're in.
No.
Okay, like that you're probably gonna die.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with being rewarded as well. You're like, oh gee, thank you.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like you don't understand that part no more chemically.
Right, and then mostly everyone who has long haul will eventually get dementia.
And yes, that is the one thing to find out. You will start with pseudo dementia.
And then go to...
And then eventually, whether it's 10, 30, 50 years from now, you will develop dementia. Like, you will.
Yeah.
Like, that is the only thing that has been, absolutely proven.
Right.
So
we're going to go...
We got around 30 seconds here.
Oh, okay, well, real quick here. Okay, so Ukrainian fighters are pushing forward under heavy Russian fire in southeast Ukraine, the military says. Kyiv has forces that are making small advances towards the frontline areas of southeastern Ukraine, trending carefully as Russia launches assaults on basically the border of nearby cities in the Donetsk region.
So basically normal stuff.
Yeah.
I highly recommend though they keep their boots out of Poland, because Poland is like, come on in.
Right.
Come on in.
But here's the thing is, okay, August 5th through the 6th, Ukraine announces peace talks in Saudi Arabia. And the Saudi Arabia president says that the goal of the talks is to unite the world around Ukraine.
Interesting. Okay, we are going to be taking a break. And when we come back, we are going to have the special guest of episode 4, Left to Bang. Her name is Elizabeth. She is going to tell the outrageous stories of the far left judicial system, more specifically the prisons. This is NTRN. We'll be right back!
We've been on and off, in and out, up and down too many times. Now it's time. Show me what you got. Some say that it's the little things. I say that it's a big old ring. Anything to hear you say I do. It ain't the way that you see me. It ain't the way that you kiss. It ain't the way that you please me. It's just the way that it is. The way
Yeah, none of my cash can fold, none of my cars are gold. Digital dash on hold. None of my cash can fold, none of my cars are gold. Digital dash on gold. Cash is digital. The dash is digital. Go. Digital. Digital. The cash is digital. The dash is digital. Run it up. Digital. Stepping like Marty McFly. Stepping, I feel like the guy. I got them looking like why. I never doubted me why. I never doubted my guys. You know you in it for win. I stand on 10, you on 10. I don't have friends of a friend. Only the fan of the kin. Only my wife and my kids. That's all I needed to win. Now I only trust my true friends. Had to cut off my loose ends. You know I win if you win. You know you win if I win. I swipe that cash, don't fold. I swipe my bank on gold. Don't think that I've been dumb. I spend like I've been broke. Yeah. None of my cash can fold. None of my calls are gold. Digital dash on hold. None of my cash can fold. None of my calls are gold. Digital dash on gold. Cash is digital. The dash is digital. Go, go, go. Digital. Digital. The cash is digital. The dash is digital. Run it up. Digital. Living my truth, no tricks. I'm trying to feed my kids. I'm trying to keep my way. I'm trying to live my life while we get rich. Mind my biz. Money gon' come, some go. Man, if you know, you know. I've been through highs and lows. Here for the ride, I go. Slide and roll. Up and down, but I get up. The numbers crunching, no sit-ups. I grew up and got dripped up. Purple label, my get up. That's 101, not a one and done. Month to month, and there's more to come. I told Cushy, let's run it up. Now it's millions on millions. None of my cash can fold, none of my cars are gold. Digital dash on hold. None of my cash can fold, none of my cars are gold. Digital dash on gold. Cash is digital. The dash is digital. Go, go, go. Digital. The cash is digital. The dash is digital. Run it up. Digital.
Yeah, you got me thinking. Oh, you got me thinking out loud. You kept me waiting for the next time around. My heart is beating faster than the beat of a drum. Oh, we're all excited, just waiting for the night to come. I'm getting ready, 'cause we're second tonight. Oh, won't you come a little closer? When you got what you need, when you hurt, you still bleed. Well, it's time that you come down. Without love, when you're down on your luck, you can make it. Without love, we all fall hard. Oh, you got me spinning.
Streaming to you live from Spreaker.com and somewhere deep in the great upper Midwest. If you're ready for a ride, you can call NTR anytime by dialing the nationwide caller line at 1-507-384-9390. First-time callers can reach Night Talks Radio at 1-507-307-4424. Text Daniel and NTR exclusively at 1-218-689-7126. Now, from somewhere in the great upper Midwest, here's your hosts, Daniel Brewer and Jennifer Gregerson.
When you're down on your luck, you can make it. Without love, we all fall hard. You got me waiting.
Welcome back, everybody.
Waiting for it.
Sunday night in the great upper Midwest. This is episode 4, Left to Bang. We'll have plenty more news and things of that nature towards the end of this show, so don't worry. But we do have a very special guest. We did a promise. I'm probably going to mess her name up pretty badly, but let me try. It's Elizabeth Mikotowicz. Is that right,
you were
Elizabeth?
close. It's Mikotowicz, but you were close.
Oh, I was close. You know,
Mikotowicz.
Mikotowicz. Okay. I was super close when I was trying to say it earlier. It's like, I can't really call her Elizabeth the whole time. People gotta know who you are. So how are we tonight, Elizabeth, first and foremost?
I'm good. It's really hot down here, but yeah, I'm good.
Really? How
are you guys
where
doing?
where are you calling from?
I'm actually from Texas. We moved down here like 6 months ago. So.
Okay, yeah. So you're, I think you're in that heat dome sort of situation, aren't you?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
gosh.
They've got record heat down here. The oceans are boiling. Birds are washing up dead. Fish are washing up dead. It's a great time.
Yeah, normal stuff. Okay. Wow.
Wow,
That's
that's crazy.
Crazy. And up here we were supposed to be hit with a heat wave, but we haven't gone past about 85 degrees. So.
Oh wow!
Up here from
I was up in Maine for the 4th, and it was hot there. Like they had like over a month straight of rain, and then it got like super hot while we were up there, and they were having like heat advisory warnings. So it definitely hit the East Coast.
Oh wow! Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm sure we'll get our battering as well. Minnesota usually does, but before we get into it here. If it's okay with you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, all that good stuff?
Yeah, I was adopted at like 2 weeks old, and I had a really good family growing up. Like I wasn't like exposed to drugs or violence or anything like that.
Right.
But once I like got out on my own, I got with some really abusive men, and my son's father. The day I found out I was pregnant with my son, he assaulted me with a wooden dowel, and like my skull was showing. Like it was literally that bad. And when I went to the hospital, they had to sew the muscle back, then the skin back, and the brain damage was so bad I started getting seizures from it. And I was now on state insurance. Like, I wasn't on my parents' private insurance anymore. And I noticed I was treated a lot differently, like, now that I was in this new, like, financial bracket. And first, they gave me opioids. And at first I took them because I was like, oh, okay, whatever, the initial injury. But then they sent me to the pain clinic, and they're like, your blood pressure keeps going up from the amount of pain you're in. I was now getting seizures and, like, going deaf and blind for moments at a time, because of the brain damage. And so, I kept going to manipulation therapy and the pain clinic, and they're like, yeah, we're going to put you on like a steady prescription of, Vicodin. And I'm like, well, I'm pregnant. I don't want to take that, while I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Like I saw my whole community. Right. Like I watched my whole community go down the toilet on pills.
Outrageous.
Right. And then they threatened me with Child Protective Services. They said, well, if you don't follow the doctor's orders, this could result in a call to Child Protective Services. And I was only 19, so I was like terrified and scared. And, I wasn't, totally grown yet mentally, so I didn't really know how to stand up for myself like the way that I do now with these people. And so, and they told me, they're like, don't worry, you're on too small of a dose to get addicted. The lie that the pharmaceutical companies were peddling for so many years. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And, they've made trillions of dollars off of, this epidemic that they've caused in America.
Question.
And, Americans are doing 70% of the pharmaceutical drugs, and we make up 5% of the global population. Like, we should not be doing this many drugs, but they're profiting off of it, so they don't care.
Correct.
Yep.
Right.
Can you tell us how it took a twist, and how you got in trouble with the law?
Absolutely. So, the abuse got worse, the violence got worse. I mean, he choked me to the point my windpipe collapsed in on itself. So, I lost my public housing because the cops showed up because of him. And he ended up going to prison, but I went to the battered women's shelter in Bangor, Maine, called Spruce Run. And I had no tears left. I was like in shell shock, and they accused me of being a liar because I wasn't crying. They said, well, other women come in here and they're crying and they're upset. And so, they don't really know how trauma works very well. Wow. And because I didn't cry on cue, basically, they said they didn't believe me. So I went and I gave them the officer's information that brought me to the hospital and gave them my medical records. Then they did a complete 180. They said, well, your injuries are so extensive that this situation is going to put the other women in the shelter in danger. The girl that got the bed didn't even get hit. The guy kicked her car.
Even though he was in
they
jail.
had 2 beds open. Yeah, even though he was in jail, and this could have gotten me like new housing, a new place for my kids, and I wouldn't have like lost everything the way that I did. And I had made a deal with my father because he could have gotten out of jail at any point that time. Like he had bail and wasn't in prison yet. So there was this whole thing like if he gets out and he shows up with the cops, my dad's going to have to hand my son over. And, because of the head injury, I wasn't a safe caregiver for them at the time anyway. They were little, and I'm blacking out and waking up on the floor, for however many minutes, of time. You can't be unconscious when you have a little kid running around.
Right.
And so, it just made sense to sign temporary guardianship over, I was homeless now. My whole life I had just, the rug got ripped out from under me.
Oh, yeah.
And, Once I signed temporary guardianship, I lost my health care, I lost my vouchers, I lost everything. And this is a catch-22. Right. You lose all of your benefits. Like the second the second you don't have that piece of paper, you have everything ripped away from you. And so honestly, the only thing that helped me at the time, the only people that helped me at the time were drug dealers. They gave me places to hide. They gave me, drugs to sell. Like I was, I made money that way. Like they gave me
you had to do what you had to do.
Because, right. And, this is the problem with America because 70% of women in prison have some sort of domestic violence or sexual assault before they even go into prison. Like we are the women that slip through the cracks and nobody helped us. So we became desperate and we ended up breaking the law. And, that's 90% of the drug dealers out there. They're just trying to pay their damn rent, which is unbelievably high. They can't even put food on the table. So they're like, hey, I can sell some of this prescription and, my kids won't go hungry or, and then, DHS can, and the rest. But they're literally setting us up to fail.
Right. And it's not just your particular situation. This is happening quite a bit in all areas. Okay, not specifically, your situation, but just to put food on the table and things of that nature. You're not criminally minded whatsoever, but you have to do what you have to do to survive.
Yep.
Right, and all of the food pantries are, stretching their resources out because so many people are utilizing, those resources. And, that whole thing that happened with me, this is a problem with victim-based shelters. A friend of mine tried to get into the sex trafficking shelter, and they wouldn't let her in because she was too scared to snitch her pimp out. Like, it is not a victim's job to do law enforcement's job for them. And you're extorting her safety to get an arrest.
Yep. Yeah, no, I understand completely. Now, when you got arrested, what were you arrested for?
Yeah, so I started selling drugs, became a drug dealer, and, because I was so traumatized and hardened from everything that happened to me, like, I moved my way up the chain, within a couple years, and all of a sudden I look around and I'm dealing with, like, gangsters that, shit you see in movies. And in 2011, I caught charges for bath salt. And it's funny because before bath salt came over here, and just to give you an idea of the timeline, when Obama was president, we went $7 trillion in debt with China. And then all of a sudden, all of these synthetic drugs like bath salt and Molly and all these weird, variations of, all it is like two components of a crystal meth. That's what bath salt is. So Chinese chemists basically figured out all they had to do is change a little bit of the chemical and it's a whole new drug. So all of a sudden, now America and all these head shops are getting all these synthetic drugs. And they're legal. And the UN, like 5 years before, any of the bath salt came over here, the UN banned it completely. They said this stuff is a nightmare. It's way more addictive than heroin and, all that. And the effects of it, people completely lose their minds. So, I figure, hey, it's legal. I won't go to jail. I go to jail for the first time. They wrote a whole new law. The feds did. They called it the analog substance law. And basically it's saying, yes, the substance was legal, but it has similar properties to an illegal substance. So, you know, they could use... Basically, they could arrest you for coffee if they wanted to. If somebody, you know, went into psychosis staying up too long on coffee, they could essentially do it. You know, I doubt they would.
It's like
America
buying
runs on
Sudafed.
dumping. I really doubt they're going to do that. But
it's the same thing as like buying Sudafed.
So
like, technically, you're buying ingredients, you know, to make meth, for example.
What's bath salts?
It's like crystal meth on steroids, basically.
Yeah.
You kind of go up, but the thing is, they labeled it as bath salts, and you know they're like, well, you're not supposed to do that with it. You're supposed to put it in your bath. Well, we put, you know,
now again, bath salts
in hot tubs
are for baths,
right? But it opens
that was the original,
right? But when you get into a bath, your pores open up from the hot water.
That's correct.
Your skin absorbs it. So you're going to get high that way either way.
Yep.
This substance was essentially to get people high, but they needed, you know, a purpose for it to be sold on the shelf.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And there was no measure of control.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
No, there wasn't.
Okay.
No, and the government made their tax money off of it because it was being sold in head shops. You know, they were, you know, they were making all the money, and then they made a shit ton of more money locking us all up for it.
Oh yeah, it started with Obama, the administration in China.
Mm-hmm.
Then you skip a couple years with Trump, and then you go back to the Biden regime, and now the southern border is completely open, and now you got fentanyl. You know, you got the ICE coming in, you got the bath salts.
No, listen, I'm down in Texas. The border is not open. They're setting up, you know, these floating devices to drown people at the border. They're murdering people at the border.
Yeah,
the other day, they were just shoving pregnant women, you know, and little kids back into the river. Like, these were American soldiers doing that on the governor of Texas's orders. Like, and it's not the feds. It's not, you know, it's like the Texas, you know, government down here. That's who's doing it, and it's a crime against humanity what's being done to those migrants.
Well, the thing with the migrants is, you know, none of this would be happening for a few reasons. One of the reasons are Biden openly inviting them. Okay, we have borders for reasons, and then number three. You know, being swamped with nearly 1.5 million people, that's going to hurt, you know, pure Americans, their children. It's the reason why inflation is around and abouts right now, and people can't afford anything, okay? There's a reason why you're stopped at the border. There's a reason why you do it the right way. You know, we may not agree on certain things, but when push comes to shove, drastic, horrible measures may need to be put in place because Biden is not helping with the situation that he created. So now Texas is forced to get, say, mercenaries and you know, Texas National Guard and military having to do these horrific things because they don't know what else to do. But they must keep these people out of the country because as America, we're going to fold, unfortunately. But there's so much drug money.
America's going to fold because the corporations. America's going to fold because of the corporations. The corporations all have record profits right now. We're all starving, and they're making record profits. Like, they're blaming it on inflation, but it's not. It's their greed.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing with that, real quick. When Trump was elected in 2016, he did say something that caught my ear and plenty of other people, and it was, if you think that I'm not paying my taxes and things of that nature, okay, that I'm making too much money or I'm skipping out, simply change the tax code. So that I have to pay, that I have to do these things. He said this to Hillary Clinton. He looked her in the eyes and said, he looked at Hillary, and said you're not going to do it because you're doing the same thing for you and your people.
Yeah, but Trump literally gave all the corporations the tax break. People like us that make less than $50,000, our taxes go up every 2 years under his bill.
Well,
Like, he didn't help the people out. He helped his rich friends out.
Here's a factor about that some people misunderstand, is that if we don't have rich, say companies or oligarchs, this and that, in the country, the smaller people like us, middle class, lower class, whatever have you, we will collapse without question, because the higher ups that have a lot of money that you were speaking about, they are keeping the country running. If they go run off right now to France, for example, because they're taxed less there than, say, here, we're going to be a third world country overnight. I'm not fighting.
We already are a third world country. We already are a third world country. The amount of suffering
I believe you on that.
The American people are going through. We are.
Oh, yeah.
Before the pandemic, there were 3 empty properties for every homeless man, woman, and child.
Mm-hmm.
All the millionaires became billionaires during the pandemic. Now there's 29 empty properties for every homeless man, woman, and child. They are not for us. They are for themselves. That's why there's this movement called Eat the Rich.
I agree with you that they're not for us. I agree with you, though. It's the far left and Democratic side. Okay.
I think it's both sides.
Both sides do have their unique issues. I guess you could say. But the cities that you look at that are having major problems, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, New York, the list can go on and on. It's all Democratic cities. And if but if you
look at the states, all the red states have the highest poverty rate, the highest incarceration rate, highest single mother, kids in foster care rate. The red states are the ones with the highest rate of missing children in DHS custody.
Well, the reason for that is because if a child goes missing in a red state and happen to end up in a blue state, the blue state doesn't give the child back to the red state and the rightful parents. So, and then some of the other things that you were saying, as far as the fathers and this and that, that's an individual issue. That's not because it's a red state, for example. Well,
but the red states are the ones trying to get rid of no-fault divorce, to trap women in these abusive situations that they can't leave. And then they want to force them to have, this is what angers me so much about the Republicans. They want to say, Democrats are groomers. Maybe some of them are. But they're not the ones writing laws saying that old men can marry 12-year-old little girls and force them to have babies.
Now, who's writing those laws?
Force children to get married.
Who are writing those laws?
There are red states that are going for child marriages, like Indiana and all that. Like they're passing laws to make it legal so that little girls have to marry old men.
You know what? I'll have to look that up because I never heard of that. But we can move on from this. We can agree to disagree on certain things. But where did we leave off at the bath salts?
Okay, so with the bath salts,
I went to jail.
Oh yeah, going to jail. Let's get. Yeah. Yep.
So when you were charged, you were actually charged twice.
Twice.
Yes, I was.
So can you explain how it happened?
Misconception.
With the same crime?
So I got charged in the state in 2011. Okay. And I did my 7 months, was all done, and everyone else in my case had state charges. But what happens is this is the misconception about double jeopardy. See, the state can charge you, especially with drug dealers. The state can charge you, and then the feds can pick it up. So you could get done a 10-year sentence in the state, and then when you're done, you think you're going home, the feds can show up and lock you back up for the exact same crime you committed that you already just served time for. And that's
they
what
basically just throw that law away. Your God-given right to not have double jeopardy.
basically, yeah, they called it conspiracy. So this time I had co-defendants, but I was literally held accountable for the same drug bust twice.
Wow.
Wow. And how many years were you held accountable for?
So I did 7 months in the state, and then I was sentenced to 37 months in federal prison and 3 years probation. But I messed my probation up after like 6 months, and then I did 9 months to wrap it all up.
Wow. So can you explain how you were treated when you went to Somerset?
Yeah.
Is that right? That's the first jail?
Yep. Yep, Somerset County Jail, in Maine. My first week there, I witnessed an entire pod of women get stripped out because they signed up for a razor, and a male sergeant wanted a list of who shaved their vaginas and who didn't. Those that did were punished. Now, to add some context, they didn't do this to the men. They never stripped the men out to investigate, their shaving preferences. This was just a rule for the women. And, I told one of the girls, I was like, dude, ask them if they want to see the evidence. Go ahead. Ask them if they want to see the evidence. And they all, of course, all of the write-ups got thrown out. But this sergeant still works there, still getting his pension. And, he didn't get in any trouble for that. And this is what, this is the PG stuff that goes on in there. I mean, I witnessed at Penobscot County Jail during my state bid, I watched a girl go into labor. And the only reason they took her to the hospital was because we all threatened to riot. We're like, we are not going to watch this baby get born in a goddamn cell. And
so
then
if you didn't do nothing,
Braxton Hicks,
she would have basically maybe even died.
We would have had to... Exactly, yeah. And so they told her, if this is a false alarm, if this is Braxton Hicks, you're going in the hole. They threatened her with solitary confinement. Like, I just want you to imagine, all you women out there, you have false alarms. How many times did you go to the hospital thinking you were in labor, at the end of your pregnancy? I know I went like twice.
Yep. So then they finally brought her to the hospital and she had the baby. And was everything okay after that?
Yep, I believe they took the baby from the hospital, but so basically when a woman is in labor and she's in jail, she has a cop watching her go through this labor, and she's shackled the whole time. Like, it is barbaric. Like, you're not running anywhere in labor.
No. That's
first off, it's like, I don't think you would run in labor anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but you have to be chained up. That is just that's
absolutely
insane.
Yeah. And have a male officer watching you at your most vulnerable moment. Like, this is what they're putting American women through.
Not even a female officer. It's going to be a male? I mean, that's unbelievable.
So after...
It's whoever they have on hand.
Okay.
Whoever they have on hand?
Yeah, but they don't care if it's a male. Like, you can watch Jessica Kent's videos on TikTok. Like, she had a male officer while she was in labor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So, was that the only thing that happened to you in Somerset?
Oh, God, no.
Here we
go. They put me in solitary and forced me to strip in front of cameras under duress of being maced and extracted. So when they extract you, they come in 12 deep, all suited up in SWAT team gear. They have electric shock shields. They have batons. They have these canisters of chemicals they throw in your cell, and it's chemically designed to take the oxygen out of your throat. I was never in a cell that was... I was never in a cell that was directly hit, but I was in a unit, and it comes through the vents. So even the inmates who aren't doing anything wrong are getting hit with this, and it's absolutely terrifying. Like,
in my training, I got hit with that stuff to know how it is, and let me tell you, it's not a fucking walk in the park.
I bet not.
I mean,
to use this on normal people that are not prepared. I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, they don't care if you have breathing problems. They don't care if you're pregnant. They don't care what health problems. They don't care if you didn't do it. You're getting hit with it. And
I think the problem is...
Somerset had...
I think the issue is, real quick, is that, they bunch everybody into one group. That's it. Boom. You're in prison. You're at jail. You're a criminal. Said and done. You're all going to be treated the same. Doesn't matter. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, at Somerset...
if they weren't making... Go.
Oh, sorry. So at Somerset, was that the time that you got told to kill yourself, too?
What?
Oh, yeah, I was in solitary for like 6 weeks, and this one female sergeant who hated me, she was awful. Like, I was in full-blown psychosis because they gave me the wrong medication for my diagnosis. They kept giving me antidepressants. And so I'm high-functioning autistic. No medication's going to work on me.
Right.
And so I was hearing shit that wasn't there. I was like my emotions were up and down. Like I thought I was back in my old apartment bathroom, like with my ex at one point. Like I was looped. Wow. And, this bitch comes in talking about just fucking kill yourself already. And she used to write on my request slips, I can't wait for you to get out of jail so you overdose and stuff.
So, like, she was really saying that. That wasn't a part of, like, your hallucinations or anything.
Oh, my God.
No. She would write this stuff on my request forms. And when I requested the paperwork, they wouldn't give it to me because they knew I'd have a lawsuit with that. She told another inmate to kill themselves. Oh, damn, I meant to send you that article, too, about Somerset.
Okay.
But...
Oh, you can still send it anytime.
To kill themselves.
Yeah, you can send it anytime.
And they had to cut that inmate down from a suicide attempt. She lost her sergeant position because of that, but not because of me. And they knew what she did to me, but I didn't try to kill myself over it. So, yeah, she actually got in trouble for that one inmate. But it's like there was an 18-year-old little girl who was egging her boyfriend on to kill himself, and the kid actually went through with it. She got like 18 months in jail.
Oh yeah,
and as she showed,
I remember that story.
But if you're telling me a sick little 18-year-old girl who probably didn't know what the hell she was doing,
right?
If she can go to jail, that officer of the law who had power over us, she should be in jail too. She definitely shouldn't be collecting pensions off of the taxpayers' money when that's what she did with her career.
Well, that's crazy. And you tried to report this too, right?
Yep, when I was because the cameras inside the SMU cells were completely illegal. Actually, a different lieutenant from a different jail pulled out the DOJ law book and showed me where it said, there can be no cameras inside of a cell where an inmate goes to the bathroom, where they sleep, etc.
Right.
Mm-hmm. At Somerset, they built this new jail and they put these cameras in there, and they love making women strip in front of those cameras, so the men can watch and control.
Oh my gosh!
That's
so let me,
when I was at
real quick,
when I was at Alderson.
Mm-hmm.
But when you were told to take your clothes off and things like that, that wasn't
right
when you were transferred there or put there. That was just random.
Yeah, that was, we're going to punish you, and we're going to, and we're going to put you in solitary in a room by yourself for 6 weeks. Well, I said I love you to somebody through the vents, and they added a week on. So, when you're in solitary, you're locked down for 23 hours a day.
That is insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah, they do this everywhere. They do this to kids in the juvenile facilities. It's really, really, really bad in the juvenile facilities. Like, predators flock to these institutions for employment because they know women like me won't be believed. They know that these children who are already labeled, criminals and juveniles, they're not going to be believed.
That's exactly the reason why I wanted her on the show.
You're just a number, basically. You're a number.
Yeah, you're a number. The reason why I wanted Elizabeth on the show is because I want somebody who went through these events and scenarios firsthand and can actually tell the public, our listening audience worldwide, what actually happens in
Behind
some
the
of these
scenes.
facilities
Yep.
and penitentiaries, okay?
Yep.
And,
Absolutely.
you know, it inside, it's a whole different ball game versus outside.
Right.
Okay? This is stuff that normal individuals never see. Okay?
Right.
Even watching shows
No.
on television, that it's you're not even coming close. Okay?
No.
So that's why I wanted
Right.
her on to explain this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Now, Elizabeth,
Well,
after
thank you for
left,
giving me a platform.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. I want people to know.
Yeah.
I want people to know.
After Somerset, you were transferred to Alderson. Is that correct?
Yes, I was, and that's where I filed the PREA complaint against
Okay.
Somerset County. So PREA stands for Prison Rape Elimination Act, and they don't
Right.
do anything. They don't do a goddamn thing. So basically, the prison helped me fill out this form, and I, said what they did. They send it to Somerset County. Mind you, these institutions are doing their own investigations. First
Right.
of all. They're doing their own investigation. So Somerset County admitted to everything I was complaining about. Yes, they stripped me in front of a camera. Yes, they have cameras inside these cells. Yes, 2 men and 2 women are monitoring these cameras at all times. So they admitted to it, but they deemed it unfounded, and that's how they stop it from going to an outside source. And I didn't know this till after I got out, but an outside source is supposed to come interview the inmate making the complaint. That never happened. Never once have I seen a single inmate who has filed a PREA get interviewed by an outside source. So when Alderson got the complaint back, they wouldn't even allow me to hold it, to read it myself. They read me the results and said, okay, that's it, that's done. I go, well, I need a copy of it. They go, oh, no, we don't do that. We can't have it floating around the compound. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll send it home. Give me a copy of it. It's my
Right.
complaint that I filled out. So out on the outside, this would never happen. Like, no one would ever
Right.
be told, you cannot have a receipt. You cannot have a copy of the paperwork. That would never happen. But
Yeah.
it happens to inmates every day. And so when you get out, you have 100 days to file an official complaint, with, human rights, whatever, file a lawsuit. You only have 100 days to do so. But the first thing they all ask for is, where's the paperwork? Where's the PREA complaint? I went to the Freedom of Information Act, and they could not find this complaint that I filed. So I got a little, and then this is the best part. So the captain at Alderson, Captain Grimes, and 4 of his subordinates all got arrested and convicted for raping and stalking inmates and tampering with PREA evidence. So I wasn't even
Oh,
their
my
biggest
God.
victim,
Wow.
with covering shit up.
Yeah.
Like, they brutally raped some inmates. Like, the guy actually got 10 years for it, which is unheard of. I mean, over a dozen women came forward, and he only got, 10 years. But, it was still a win on our end.
That
But,
is
I
absolutely
requested
shocking.
the paperwork. Yeah, I got a lawyer and everything. I requested the paperwork from Somerset, and they told me to get a lawyer to subpoena it because they had already given me my PREA complaint. No, they didn't. You gave it to Alderson, who refused to give it to me. So this is
Right.
how they're bearing the abuse, and this is one of the bills I'm working on because
Okay.
by law they have to give us this paperwork. The law says it, but
Oh,
there's
yes.
no consequence if they don't. So I'm proposing there be a bill that for every day these institutions stonewall an inmate and refuse to give them their paperwork, it could be, I don't know, say $500 a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
It should be a suable matter where there's a financial consequence for these institutions doing it because they are just destroying people and they're calling it rehabilitation. That's the biggest joke of all. They
Oh, yeah.
rebrand it as rehabilitation.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
I agree with you fully on that.
So, in your
Yeah.
opinion, what do you think the condition was with the jail compared to prisons?
County jail is awful for, your mental stability because you're locked in, there's no stimulation. When you're in solitary, your brain literally slows down from the lack of stimulation. Like when
Oh
I
my
got out of
gosh, yeah.
solitary, people talking over each other would overwhelm me. And my first instinct was to fight. Like, your first instinct literally goes to violence because your brain don't know what to do. And the only stimulation you're getting in solitary is the cop, fucking people up, basically.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. In a
a
matter of
that's
5
what your brain gets
days,
used to.
in a matter of 5 days with somebody being in a situation like solitary, where they absolutely have nothing to do, it's been a proven fact out of Russia that you will go insane. The definition of insane.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yep. Like your brain starts shutting off emotions to protect itself. So things like empathy and stuff that makes you it's all go. It's all gonna go.
Bye bye.
Like, I had to fight to get empathy back. Like, when I got out of prison, like, I was like, wow, dude, I really don't have compassion and empathy like I used to. Because of that experience. And, like, it's scary. Like, that's how they breed sociopaths. Like, they have people in solitary for years and years and years, and then they just, okay, you're done, go back out to the public, and then they wonder why their recidivism rate is so high.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's if they want rehabilitation, you mentioned it before, this is absolutely not the way to do it.
No.
Not the way to do it.
No,
you don't just stockpile people on top of each other.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. They're fighting in Congress right now to get rid of solitary confinement, and I am all for it because it does not help people. It destroys people, and you're not teaching them anything. You're not helping them with anything.
No.
No.
You're creating more problems than anything.
Past.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're adding to the problem, not fixing the problem.
Right. Elizabeth, is it true the inmates were paid pennies to move bodies during COVID?
Yes, in California, they had inmates. Okay, so we get paid $5.25 in the feds. Right. $5.25 a month, not a day, not a week, a whole month, and you work 40 hours a week. And so yes, they had inmates moving dead COVID bodies. They had inmates fighting wildfires and risking their lives. I mean, when my fiance was locked up, they had him going down in the mines. Like, they don't care about inmates. These inmates get hurt on these jobs. My friend was shoveling. That was her job. She slipped on the ice and broke her foot. And by the time they brought her to the hospital, the bone had refused back together. And they had to re-break her leg. Like, there's no reason for that.
You know what this sounds like? What she's describing?
What?
It literally sounds like the camps in Siberia in the Soviet era.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Where they
love it. I love it. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I love it when people say, oh, inmates have free health care. Like, no, they let inmates die every day. I watch so many women die of very treatable things. Like, they just don't care.
Yeah, and they took one kid off of his insulin, too, didn't they?
No.
Yep. When I was at Penobscot County, we called him the vet because he treated us like animals. This kid was diabetic. He had insulin from his outside doctor. And
I'm diabetic. I want to hear this.
Yeah, they took him off his insulin and put him on commissary restrictions so he couldn't buy the food that he wanted.
Wow.
They oppressed us with food as well.
Was he a troublemaker, or was there a reason for it?
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
There's no reason to do that to somebody, to medically oppress them like that. No, the guy was on a power trip. He said, I can take this away from you. The one thing you can shoot, the one thing every inmate looks forward to is, the food they picked out, the stuff they got because it's theirs. It's what they wanted. It's the only choice we get, and that man just took it away from that guy because he could.
Wow. Is it true that doctors who lose their license outside can get a job there?
Yeah, doctors who have lost their medical licenses with the medical board are allowed to work at prisons and native clinics. I think it's in Alabama. I believe it's Alabama. It's one of those states. 60% of the prison doctors all have malpractice suits and have lost their licenses.
Wow.
And when they come to prison, they are bitter and angry, and they do not view us as human. They were probably predatory on the outside, and now they get to come do whatever they want to, the inmate population that they do not view as human.
That is so scary.
That is, yeah.
I mean, it sounds like when they released the Japanese doctors after the treaty in World War II,
yeah,
in order to get the paperwork on what they were doing to people in room 731.
Yeah.
And they gave them the grace to go work in America, and they'd forget all about it.
Yeah.
Here, the difference is that it's just Americans that are the crazy lunatics, and they put them in with the inmate.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is unbelievable. How could that happen in today's society?
It's awful, but I mean, it gets worse. I met a handful of women in prison, and these were American inmates. These weren't, and this was before Trump filled up the ICE camps with the refugees, and you heard about those refugee women getting sterilized against their will. They were doing this to American women in prison, and not a single one of them was white. That's what I correlated after the fourth girl that I met that this happened to. And Texas is famous for that. Sterilizing black women and Native women. They are still actively committing genocide. And now all of a sudden, Illinois, that lady from Illinois is talking about, it's a great day for white lives with the overturning of Roe v. Wade. No, dude, you're still committing genocide. You just want to save all the white
I agree with you on that.
Get rid of all the black men.
I agree.
Jesus.
I agree about the abortion thing. You're still killing somebody else.
Yeah.
I'll let you handle these questions. I just, great person. The stories are amazing. I want this out. We just have some disagreement on what's going on in the South.
Right.
But that's okay, though. It's okay to have debates and disagreements. So,
right.
But there are a lot of things that I agree with.
Yeah.
So.
Was there any opportunity to go to school in prison?
Oh, yeah. Actually, when you get to the feds, if you don't have your GED, or should I say, if you can't prove that you graduated high school, they make you take the GED. Now, that's great if you don't have a GED or high school diploma. But what was happening is, the counselor, they were getting $2,000 for every inmate that enrolled in the GED, then another $2,000 when they graduated. So this is money to them.
Well, gee, money.
So,
yeah, big money pit.
Right. Oh, yeah. They told these inmates, all right, you have to get your high school transcripts, even though your entire education record is in the pre-sentencing investigation. So they have all of the proof that they need. Right, that they've graduated high school. So, some of these women, they don't have money. They don't have people on the outside. There's no way for them to get these high school transcripts. What are you going to do? Pay $350 for a phone call and hope your old high school picks it up? You don't even have internet to look up the number.
Right.
Prison policy says that the counselors are supposed to get it for you. They don't, because they make so much money.
Yeah.
So we had women with bachelor's degrees and PhDs being forced to take the GED because it made the prison money. This is where your taxpayers, this is where your tax money's going.
Oh my God.
Jesus. Can you explain to us how the food was in prison, and were the men treated better than the women, or vice versa?
Well, the food comes in boxes that say not for human consumption, and I don't know how many gallbladders shit the bed, and, people have really bad digestive issues coming to prison. So I was in federal prison when the BOP decided that men are bigger than women, so women don't need as much food. They literally cut our portions down to child size. And, at Alderson, you have to walk a mile just to get to the chow hall. So by the time you walk to dinner, eat that little bit of food they give you, you get to the top of the hill, you're hungry again. It wasn't even worth going half the time.
Oh, my God.
I don't know what to say about that. That is just
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Go
Can
ahead.
you explain
I mean,
kind of how some of the food was?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you mean by not meant for human consumption? Like, how bad was this?
Well, like the meat, I mean, it was bad. You were likely to get, really gristly, nasty, really cheap throwaway meat that, is really cheap for the prison. And
fat and
like
nastiness.
one of the only good meals was chef salad. Like everybody went chef salad.
Really?
Night, because that was like one of the only good, meals they have. And, and in the morning it was just like gruel and, oatmeal. And, they really, on certain days, they'd let the chefs, do something nice for us. And it also depended on, which staff was running the kitchen. There was
Right.
one guy who was this awful, misogynistic piece of work. He would take all the good food home for himself and then not let the inmates use barely any ingredients. But the other guy, he viewed us as humans, and he goes, yeah, use whatever you want for the inmates. Like, make it good for them. And so it really depended on, whether you had a good, staff or not.
And now the guards were stealing food too, right? And blaming it on you guys?
Yeah, she
Oh,
just said.
yes. Oh, yes, they were. We got stripped out. We got raided for it, and then they found out it was the guards taking, a lot of the food.
Oh, my God.
The situation is that a lot of the so-called bad apples are put in penitentiaries, are put in facilities, prisons, jails, whatever have you, and
Right.
they have this anger about them,
Yeah.
just like you said, Elizabeth.
Right.
Where they think they're top shit and they can do whatever they want.
Yeah,
It's like President Snow from the fucking Hunger Games.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. So what did you
Yeah.
do to pass
And,
time in
don't-
prison?
Oop, yep.
Well, I was an artist, but a lot of women
Okay.
crocheted
Oh, okay.
and worked out. Like, when I went to Danbury, I became completely addicted with working out. But I was an artist, so that's how I hustled. I'd paint the inmates' coffee cups and seal it
Oh,
with floor
cool.
wax so it wouldn't wash off.
Oh, cool.
And I'd do portraits. Like, I'd take the back of notebooks and use that as canvas. And I'd steal paint from the rec or from, like, the art classes.
Yeah.
And I only got raided twice for that. But,
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, that is contraband. And they treat you like you're stashing, kilos of cocaine.
yeah.
My paint, like, they treated... I mean, it was insane. Like, I'm like, dude, I got like 3 paintbrushes and like some pill bottles full of paint. Like,
Yeah, look out! I'm
good
I'm
for
about
you.
to break
Good
out of
for you.
prison.
Jesus.
right. And
So-
at some of the facilities, I painted murals. That was actually one of the highest paying jobs in prison. When I was at Danbury, when I painted murals, I got $57 a month.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, hey, that's
That helped a little
Shit.
bit.
that's not bad.
Yeah, a
It's
little
helping
bit.
you quite a bit right
I
now,
mean-
isn't it?
Yeah, I have an environmentally friendly clothing brand based on my art. It's mostly for women. Like, I have a couple things for the guys, but it's a very feminine brand. It's got a lot of dresses and, really pretty stuff. And it also comes in plus sizes. So we're
Okay.
inclusive to everybody.
Make sure you send that if you haven't already.
Yeah, send
to
that
Jennifer,
information. We can post it for you.
and we'll get that on our
Okay.
website as well.
Now, was it
Definitely.
easy to
Thank
get?
you.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
no
Jennifer, I'm
problem.
sorry.
Was it easy to get feminine products in jail or prison?
Oh, God, no. That's a nightmare. That's
Ugh.
actually one of the bills we successfully passed in Maine. All jail facilities are now required to provide tampons and pads free of charge for the women. And I'm so happy about that because, women would literally make their own tampons out of desperation and give themselves
Like-
infections. Like,
Wow.
this is so
I'm
bad.
not a
And,
woman here,
Yeah.
but isn't that like horribly unsanitary,
Unsanitary, yeah, you can get
unhealthy,
infections.
and like could
Yes.
probably cause death
Absolutely.
or something?
It absolutely is. Yes,
Ugh.
it absolutely is. And so, like, I've watched women guards, like, that had women issues and just looked at
Yeah.
us like we were trash. Like, you'd ask her, hey, we need pads. we need this. And they'd be like, go ahead, bleed on yourself. See if I care. So the game became go up to the most masculine, like tough guy guard you could find and make him feel as uncomfortable as possible. Like I'd walk right up to him and be like, hey, you want us to bleed all over the place? Because that's what's going to happen. Like, we can't get this shit for ourselves. Like, what are you doing with yourself? And then they would bring back more than enough for everybody. But, you can buy tampons. You can buy tampons on the commissary, but they jack the price up like triple what they would be out here. And that's like even if they have them. Like, most of the time when they restock commissary, they got enough tampons for about a quarter of, the entire prison.
Right.
Wow.
My gosh. I mean, that's just,
wasn't toilet paper hard to buy, too?
No, they give you toilet paper for free.
Do.
Like, you have shared bathrooms. Well, I mean, unless if you're in, like, county jail, then you just go up to the CO and say, hey, give me toilet paper. And they get in big trouble if they don't, like, respect that because, bathroom has to be done. Like, it's a human function. Like, it has to be done.
Okay.
Like 3 years ago when COVID was out, you could, like, make a house payment by selling, like, 5 things of toilet paper.
Right.
That's awful.
But, unbelievable stuff. Okay, so this would be your second prison, then, so to speak, that you were at?
Alderson, yeah.
Basically, I didn't actually go to prison when I did my state bid. In Maine, you have to do 9 months and a day to go to prison, and I only had 7 months. So I did all that time in county jail. But, I did like about, I'd say 16 months in the county just waiting to go to prison, and then I finally went to prison. And it took me so long to get there. Like, it was like a whole month process going from Maine down to Oakland, to Rhode Island, to Oklahoma, and like on Con Air. Con Air is a nightmare. Like, that
Jen was telling me about that.
Yeah.
And that sounds
nothing like
horrible.
that.
Yeah, can you explain that to us?
So they bring you to, like, this open, like, air base type thing. It's just a giant, like, airstrip. And it was so cold. Like, and they search you before you get on the plane. So you had all these inmates standing out there, and the winds are whipping down this, landing strip. And,
oh my God.
like, it's so cold. And the cups were freezing, like, on my skin. Like, it was cold. It was, like, -10 out, and they wouldn't let us have a jacket. They made us stand there for, like, 20 minutes. And,
wow.
So it was just awful. And then you get on the plane, and the wings are literally wrapped in duct tape. Like,
yep, I'm getting off.
It's just crazy.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. And then one
fire?
had an emergency landing. It literally caught on fire, and, these inmates were like, oh, my God, we almost died. And I'm like, I'm really glad I didn't, like, get on that plane that day. But, yeah, they're, like, these horrible, like, crap planes that nobody should ever fly on.
Wow. Well, Elizabeth, I'm gonna have you pause right there. We're gonna go to break, and then we'll have you continue. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Perfect. So we are talking to Elizabeth, and so far, this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is amazing stuff.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot more to it, too. I mean, I heard the whole entire thing, and it is absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
amazing.
you know what's coming up. Yeah. I don't. Like, that's
and what she
shocking.
Went through, I mean, it's absolutely just horrid.
Like I said, there's a few things we don't agree with, but the majority of it is getting this information out about these facilities.
Right, I think I should just stay away from the political for a while.
Oh, yeah. You know me. This is NTRN. We'll be right back.
하늘께까지 telling me that you Gucci 너답지 않지 got me driving like a movie 난 아직 굳이 걱정 따윈 없지 pedal to the floor only seconds left to go 새벽 4시 오후 아침까지 미안한다고 말하지 나답지 않지 got me calling like a movie 난 아직 굳이 걱정 따윈 없지 pedal to the floor only seconds left to go
Intention falling.
Oh my god. Hang on! Ethan! Go, go, go!
Audiences and critics can't believe what they're seeing.
Listen to me. The world's coming after you. Stay out of my way.
Tom Cruise has outdone himself with a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes!
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning is filled with holy shit moments.
What is happening?
This is why we go to the movies.
Oh, I like her.
It's pulse-pounding. It will rock your world with jaw-dropping action.
Is this where we run?
Go, 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 go!
Probably.
It's one of the best action movies ever made.
What more can I say?
See it in the biggest, most seat-shaking theater you can find. It will take your breath away.
Ethan, did you make it? Are you okay?
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Tickets on sale now.
Hey everybody, this is Chris from the White House, and you're listening to NTRN, the fastest growing all-topic conservative broadcast in the great upper Midwest, as well as the Great Lakes region. Stay dialed in. More NTRN is just ahead.
Just needed a break.
Shitty car, but we hit the road. Doesn't matter where we go, and destination unknown. I don't care where the motor stops, 'cause when I want it, then I want it. Yeah, I want it, oh, I want it, let's go. Look around, where's the people at? I want a taste of the good life. Hit me with it right now, I'm in it. 'Cause when I want it, then I want it. Yeah, I want it, oh, I want it, let's go. And I won't look back, yeah. I don't care about the bad shit back home. It's Cincinnati, baby, I just wanna let it go. Nothing matters when we're way out here. Oh, yeah. Maybe I don't have to know your real name. I'm just addicted to the way you take the pain away. Nothing matters when we're way out here. Oh, yeah. Cincinnati, baby, Cincinnati, baby. You said, yeah, Cincinnati, baby, Cincinnati, baby.
Streaming to you live from Spreaker.com and somewhere deep in the great upper Midwest. If you're ready for a ride, you can call NTR anytime by dialing the nationwide caller line at 1-507-384-9390. First-time callers can reach Night Talks Radio at 1-507-307-4424. Text Daniel and NTR exclusively at 1-218-689-7126. Now, from somewhere in the great upper Midwest, here's your hosts, Daniel Brewer and Jennifer Gregerson.
Welcome back, everybody. Sunday, July 30th. Episode 4, Left to Bang. We have a special guest. Her name is Elizabeth. Her last name starts with an M. I'm not going to dare say it again. I know she told me, but I'm going to mess it up. You remember how to say it? But we got her here no matter what. And she was just talking about boarding a plane that was similar to Nicolas Cage's Con Air.
Yeah. Actually,
So,
I don't remember how to say it. I think it's
I'm gonna try it again.
Mikowski?
I'm gonna try it again.
Mikadowitz.
Mikadowitz.
Say
There we
boom.
go.
She said it before I was going to say
There
it. She said it right before I was going to say it.
Mikadowitz. Okay.
Well, nonetheless,
You got
she
it.
is back, and she is telling us some, let's just say, wacky, insane stories, and
Yeah.
we would like to hear the rest. So, Elizabeth, take it away.
All right. So, Elizabeth.
Absolutely.
Is your name Elizabeth?
Oh, well, I was just going to ask her a question.
Oh, okay, you're going to ask a question first. Go
Go
ahead.
for it. Shoot.
All right. So, do you have any plans to help with the medical for the inmates?
Well, I've thought about it, but I don't really know the best way to go about it, other than just educating people. I mean, like, for instance, they'll charge you $5 for a Band-Aid, like a single Band-Aid.
Oh, my God.
And, you know, when, like, this one girl, she had a tumor in her rectum, and it was so bad. She was complaining about it for months. And,
Did you say rectum?
she literally had blood. Yeah, like, in her
Oh.
intestines.
Wow.
Ouch.
And she,
Probably from the food.
she had blood pouring into her
right.
shoes, and by the time they took her to the hospital, she had 3 months left to live. Like, they let things go on for that long. I mean,
my
I was
God.
there for appendix bursting, gallbladders, you know, like all kinds of horrible things that, like, should not happen.
Right.
And, like, it's just barbaric. And, I mean, I was put in a cell with a girl who had MRSA. And, well, no, she was an old lady, and, you know, yeah, so I ended up getting MRSA.
Oh, my God.
And, like, I'm like, telling the guard, I'm like, dude, you need to get me out of here. Like, she has giant boils all over her. And they're like, well,
That
we're
is
full.
fucked
And I'm
up.
like, okay, what if I fight her? Like, and then it's like, okay, choose between hitting an old lady and being at risk for MRSA. And then, you know, if you hit her, you're definitely going to get it. But
Right.
like, it's just that's the situations they put you in.
Oh my
God. I mean, I could tell
I mean,
you, I just had foot surgery
Yeah.
because I had a form. It wasn't MRSA,
No,
but it was a
kinda
form of
like
MRSA.
it. Yeah.
And it scared the living shit out of me. I wouldn't be able to imagine being in the same fucking cell with
Yeah.
somebody that had that.
Well,
Like,
I know.
would be hiding in the fucking
Right, they
corner
put
24/7.
everybody at risk.
Oh my
That is-
Like
God.
every day during the pandemic, I woke up like thanking God that I wasn't in prison. Like I have friends that were, and they're telling me like, dude, they're keeping people who tested positive for COVID in general population 6 days after they knew, and then they're wondering why the entire prison is sick. And like it got to the point where the guards and the inmates banded together and said, "You're putting all of us at risk." Like that's unheard of. And you know, I don't want to like, push this narrative that all cops are bad, because for every officer that tried to hurt me, there was another risking their job trying to make it stop.
Yes,
Right,
yes.
right,
I'm
yeah.
glad that you said that.
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
very glad that you said that.
Well, can you explain
It's
to
just
us
a
who
really high
Jen-
number of bad apples.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. That, like I said, there are bad apples without
Yeah.
question.
Oh yeah.
And like I said before, I do believe that they are sent to prison facilities
yeah.
because nobody really sees what truly happens inside said facilities.
Right.
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 But these institutions reward bad behavior from their cops.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what the problem is. Like the good cops that'll actually save people and you know really make a difference, their career gets trashed.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Once you get in that situation, you may be a good cop, and for whatever reason you feel you want to transfer to the prison system, it's almost like you're branded right away.
Yeah.
Even though you may be a good cop,
right?
You're forced to be a bad, police officer.
Right, to fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to say in the beginning is that a majority of the police that are out here, for instance, in Red Lake Falls, are not the same as the ones in these facilities that she's speaking about. You know what I mean? These guys got an agenda. They just want to fuck shit up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Go ahead, Jennifer.
Right, and you know it's a very misogynistic work environment too. Like I felt so bad for so many of the women COs, like because you know especially the ones that stuck up for us, because the misogynistic male COs will literally be like, "All right, see if we back you up then," and they will leave these women, officers in dangerous situations and like not back them up. It's very much like military rape. It's very much like military rape culture. Like if the female officer complains about sexual harassment on the job or anything like that, their career gets tanked, just like in the military. And a lot of these officers are like, came from the military.
Did at any time,
which I must say, coming from that area, I will say that is done and over with. That has been, how do you say, nipped in the bud.
Yeah.
So.
Did at any time, did anyone go to the warden?
Oh, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah,
warden.
people tried making complaints. I mean, there was I think it was WNBC that came to do a story on Alderson, and women that told the truth were sent to the SHU. Like you can't, the retaliation is real, and that happened to me at Somerset because
like the longest
I
yard.
made complaints and. Right, and it becomes dangerous. Like some officers would plant stuff in my cell, like not drugs or anything, but like dumb paraphernalia, or that would be considered contraband, like an extra shirt, just to lock me down. Like it's like little minor oppressive stuff like that too.
That is so bad.
Like, yeah, and it really messes with your sanity after a while. Like it really does.
I can imagine.
And yeah.
I mean, how much hatred do you have to have with yourself to do what, she was just explaining?
Yeah.
I mean, why would you want to do that to somebody else?
Right.
Another human.
Yeah.
Okay? I fucking hate the neighbor that I lived next door to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that to him, though.
No.
You know, I'd kick his ass,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't do that.
No.
Right.
I mean, it's just insane.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Can you explain to us who Janet
Right.
Mills was and how she played a role in your
Yeah.
life?
So when I got out of prison on probation, Paul LePage was still the governor of Maine, and nobody could get health insurance. They literally told me, if you want, state health insurance, you have to have a baby. And I'm like, I'm just trying to be okay enough to, get back to the other two kids that are already here.
Right.
And
Just
so
help me out.
once Janet Mills took over, she expanded Maine Care. So I was able to get MAT treatment. I was able to get trauma counseling. I was able to continue, with my recovery. And actually, here I am, almost 6 years later, and I'm doing really good. I'm not into drugs. I'm not breaking the law. I'm not, in over my head. I'm still struggling, but I think everyone
by the
is
way,
struggling at this point.
I want to say, back in 20 years now, I had difficulty with certain things, and it feels so good to be done and rid of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
It's such an accomplishment.
Right.
Especially when you do it on your own, and nobody tells you or you're forced to do it. So what you did, the state that you're in now, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
I have to give you kudos for that.
Thank you. Yeah, well, when I got out on probation, I had $1,200 worth of prescriptions of psych meds that the prison had me on. And I'm not on any psych meds now. And, some of them were really dangerous, like lithium. If you just stop taking it, your heart can stop. When I ran out of it in the halfway house because they didn't get their paperwork in, I was literally going into psychosis, hallucinating. These medications are not something to be taken lightly, especially psych meds. And they are just as physically addictive as, street drugs. But people don't ever want to talk about that. They just want to give all these kids all these meds and wonder why they're so messed up. So when I got out, I didn't have these medications, and I'm spacing these psych meds out, trying to, not just cold turkey detox. And I ended up relapsing. I had a panic attack every time I left my house, and I didn't even make it 6 months on probation. And all it was a slight change of policy, so I could continue my recovery and fix what I needed to fix.
Well, here's what I was telling Jennifer. Literally, I think it was last night or the night before. The long-term anxiety, depression medications, like Wellbutrin, things like that, are so bad. I'd much rather have a person take Xanax, than these long-term, mentally distorting medications for depression and anxiety. You immediately need to get off of them.
You.
Right.
Xanax can kill you if you detox off of it cold turkey, though. Xanax can be really dangerous.
Yep. There's a lot of medications that can do... You're never told, by the way. You're never really told.
Right.
You go for these side effects, but you're never told, one of the side effects, by the way, is you're going to die. So, but...
Right.
Well, I think doctors get certain amount of money or whatever from the pharmaceutical company to prescribe the medication.
Doctors are the biggest drug dealers in America. Doctors and big pharma are the biggest drug dealers in America. And they took 6 weeks of, education for pharmaceutical drugs. And there's thousands of them. And, they just go by what the big pharma says, and big pharma lies a lot of the time. 20 years ago, I was given my first, antidepressant as a teenager, acting out, whatever, and starting to have, depression here and there. Instead of just helping me deal with my core issues, and I had seasonal depression in the winter, so lack of sunlight. If you'd just given me a damn vitamin, I would have been fine. And these drugs would put me in psychosis. I became, obsessed with, death and, suicidal ideation.
Yeah, you're sedated.
That was the drug.
You're sedated mentally.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's just one big money scam, and it's destroying this country.
Oh, without question.
You know,
Yeah, without question.
like first they did, Big Pharma did the opioid epidemic. They made a shit ton of money off of that, and now everyone's hooked on Suboxone and methadone. Did you know Ibogaine? They have a 97% success rate. It resets the addict's brain completely, and it's illegal in the United States because Big Pharma is making too much money off of methadone and Suboxone. We could cure these addicts.
Here's the thing.
We could reset everyone's brain and, move on.
With that Suboxone?
Sweden's having great results. No, not with Suboxone, with Ibogaine. Ibogaine is illegal in America because Big Pharma is making way too much money off of methadone and Suboxone. That stuff is poison. It slowly kills you. And yes, it helped me stay sober for a time, but it's not something you want to be on forever.
No. What I was going to say about Suboxone is that yes, I was on that at one point. The problem with Suboxone and drugs like that is that, sure, you forget all about the opioid that you were just on because now you're addicted to Suboxone. Because
exactly,
so it didn't help anything.
And it's coming off of it. It's absolutely, you can die coming off of it, and that's what Big Pharma wants. They want the money every month, from all these addicts. They're making a killing doing this. So, I doubt we'll ever see Ibogaine be legal in America, but I think it's something we should push for because we could fix this problem with something that actually, fixes the root of it.
Right.
Instead of,
you have to go to the core.
Continuously rewiring people's brains. Right, but the suffering of the American people is $1 trillion industry. I mean, prisons, we make up 25% of the global incarceration population. And if you're wondering why, prisons make $100 a day per inmate, and then they extort us for our free labor. A hospital saves $350,000 a year contracting with prisons to have inmates wash their linen. This is not about solving crime. This is about a free workforce. And over the pandemic, all these prisons across America were taking out PPP loans and expanding their wings. All the corporations stood up and said, hey, we'll buy all your prisons as long as you remain 90% full capacity. They're adding wings on to get more people in, to get more free workers. They would rather lock us all up and put us to work.
COVID was nothing more than a test of socialism.
Right.
That's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
And now the more you look at things. Oh, go ahead.
No, this isn't. No, this gets worse than socialism. This is about slavery. This is modern day slavery. They have an entire free workforce. Okay, like I said before COVID, there were 3 empty properties for every homeless man, woman, child. Now there's 29. Right. They're criminalizing home, and I'll agree with you that this is where the Democrats are, fucked up. They're criminalizing homelessness in all of these cities.
They are.
The homeless rate exploded. And now, so when you criminalize something, those people are going to get demonized, dehumanized, and now you're going to throw them in jail.
Yeah, you're going to put them in jail now.
Part of your free workforce. Yeah, now they're part of your free workforce. You see what I'm saying? They would rather put us all in jail and put us to work than actually give us a decent living, which is what we deserve.
Like?
They're
it sounds like North Korea.
Living off our labor.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, that's essentially what North Korea, the USSR did.
Yeah.
All the countries that tried socialism, communism, all that stuff, and went far, above and beyond. It's the same thing, really. Go ahead,
but
Jennifer.
I'm not one for communism or full-blown socialism either.
Right.
But I will say that China doesn't have a single starving homeless person.
They may not have that, but they are notorious for human rights violations.
Oh yeah, for horrible human rights. Absolutely, I totally.
But I understand.
I mean,
that.
they were killing baby girls because they had to have their patriarchal son, and believe me, I got you on that.
As a matter of fact, that you were told, this is the amount of children you're going to have, and this is who the child is going to be.
They overpopulated.
Yeah, with the complete overpopulation
they
that they
overpopulated.
had. Now in Sweden.
Oh yeah, and
Oh, go ahead.
Yes. Well, yeah, the female suicide rate was like skyrocketed over there,
Oh,
and that's
ew.
like going to happen over here if they force women to be in marriages.
Right? Yeah, I understand that. I mean, you can just you can look at you know. I'm sure I'm going to get some emails on this one, but just look at the Muslim population and what happens with the women in that religion.
Yeah, with the women, it's awful what's happening to the women over there.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it is starting to happen here.
Yeah.
And it's almost being normalized.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind away. But in Sweden, I was going to say real quick, see, socialism works in Sweden because they have a small population. Okay, they can be given money
Right.
and they can work a job, say, 22 hours a week. Okay? And their prison system...
Their prisons are great, too.
Yeah, I was
the
going to say
prison
that.
system over there is, like, immaculate.
Yeah, if you, say, commit a murder in Sweden, Norway, places like that, you're not locked away in a hole somewhere.
Right.
You actually get your own key to your own nice room, television, access to everything. You talk to a psychologist. You are truly
Get to the bottom of your
rehabilitated.
problem. Right.
Yep.
And
yeah, you're treated like a human being.
Exactly.
Yep.
And these guys know what they did, and they feel remorse, and they know they're sorry, and they want to get back to society, and they actually get to go out and work real jobs.
Yep. Yep.
Right. It's hard to feel sorry for what you did when you're having so much horrible stuff done to you on a daily basis. Like, you think inmates really, I mean, yes, we feel remorse, we feel bad, we feel guilt for, you know, not being in our kids' lives and messing up. But, you know, after a while, it's like, man, you're all a bunch of hypocrites. Like, why should I feel bad when you guys are doing all this?
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah, if you just treat people, you know, with common human courtesy, it's amazing what could happen. You know?
Yeah, treat them with dignity and respect.
Yeah, you know? There's always going to be, you know, criminals and problems and things like that. Okay? But don't exacerbate the problem by making it 1,000 times worse.
Right.
So.
Right. But, you know, if people's basic needs were met, we wouldn't have such a problem with crime in this country. If people could have housing, if people could have food, if people could have health care. You know, we're one of the only countries, you know, at the top of the food chain that doesn't have universal health care. And it's like, all for the insurance companies, like, we put in enough work. Like, everyone in this country deserves health care. You know, nobody should go bankrupt because they had an accident or because they have a health problem that they can't control.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's absolutely correct.
I know exactly where you're coming from because I'm on state insurance and they won't give me a back surgery.
And you're forced into poverty. Into poverty. You could probably only have a certain amount of money come in every month or you'll lose it, right?
Well, they expect you to live off of $700 a month.
Yep. Yep.
And exactly. Nobody can do that.
No,
you can't even get a place for $700 a month.
Right. Yeah. In the state of Minnesota, for a family, you know, we have a daughter.
Yep.
A family for us to live nice, normal, and really not to have any worries, we'd have to make collectively $4,500.
Yep.
Okay. How in God's name do you expect us to make $700 a month?
Yep.
Okay? Like, not happening. The money's gone in like 4 days.
Especially when rent is $800 a month.
Yeah, you can't even pay your rent.
Right.
Let alone health care.
Yep.
So, I totally know where you're coming from.
The electric and, you know, you can't survive without internet, so you have to have internet. But, it's just a mess. Like, I mean, the suffering of the American people, it's a $1 trillion industry. They're making so much money off of our suffering. It's crazy. And then they're like, oh, you're lazy. Go to work.
Right. I absolutely agree with you on that subject 100%.
Yep.
So.
Can you explain to us what it was like in Danbury? I understood you went 3 days without water.
What?
Oh, yeah. So Danbury, the showers, the Danbury camp, there's 3 facilities there. There's the men's prison, which is like a higher level of security. There's the camp, which is old and decrepit, and it's what Orange is the New Black is about. And there was like inch black mold in the showers. Like,
oh my God.
It was disgusting. There were bugs. There was a vent. It would be over me, and I'd wake up with all this dirt and dust, and I wouldn't be able to breathe. Like, I would literally be suffocating. And, there would be, like, inspections, like, from state inspectors, basically. And these people would have the inmates be running around with duct tape and paint and just covering up all of the code violations. And then it pissed me off so bad. They built a brand new $80 billion facility right down the hill. Didn't fix anything in the camp. And women were having health problems and everything. And they built a brand new $80 billion facility just to house like 70, 80 more women for them to profit off of.
Jesus,
And during the summer, during the hottest time, there's no air. Yeah, there's no air conditioner in any of those facilities, so it's hot as shit. The ventilation's bad, so you're allowed these little tiny fans for air, and then they have like 2 ice machines. And when it's hot out, the ice machines are always empty. And during the hottest days of the year, we went 3 days without water. It happens every year at Danbury. The water just shuts off, and inmates are screwed, basically.
Oh, that's going to be super fun with the climate warming up.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Like, that's Connecticut, though. Like, that's not, like, super hot. And it's a problem that happens every year. Like, the system just shuts off, and they can't figure out what's wrong with it. And it's like, people die that way.
Yeah.
Exactly. Down in Texas this year, 9 inmates have already, roasted to death in these jails because they don't have air conditioning. Like, it is, it's awful. I mean, and when I was at Alderson, the RDAP inmates, they got air conditioning because they got more money per inmate because they were in the RDAP program. All the rest of us were screwed.
Oh, Jesus.
That's
not right.
You would hope that this wouldn't happen in America.
Right.
And unfortunately, you're hearing it right from somebody who's experienced it.
Exactly. Do you know if the sexual assault just happened to the women, or did it happen to guys too?
Oh, no, it happens to men too. And it's like, I think it's like 60. I read something that said 60% of all prison sexual assaults are by the staff, and 40% are inmates. But I don't think that number's right because, it's, telling on an inmate for sexual assault, you're more likely to be believed than telling on an officer. Like, most people are too scared to tell an officer. There's a very, 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 very tiny, and it's usually when they do it bad enough to where, like, they had to bring the inmate to the hospital or something. Like,
where it's like totally like exposed.
Yeah, like over a dozen women had to come forward to, take down, those officers that, like a lot of people have to. So, I mean, I just don't think those numbers are, really
correct.
Accurate.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Now,
when you left the prison, did they set you up right away in a halfway house?
So you have to do that? What's called team, and you go to your. Well, I was supposed to have 6 months of halfway house, and whatever, like the judge will put in your sentence, like you're required to take this course, this course, this course. Well, to even take any of the good courses or programs in prison, you have to be there for a couple years first. Like, they had a hairdressing program where you could learn to get your cosmetics license. They only had 10 people in it for 1,400 women. Like, it's not like they're moving all these inmates through these programs. It's a very small amount that actually gets to do it. Okay. And so I had, 3 months of halfway house, and it was awful. I went back to jail, and I flipped right out. There were predators in these 3 child molesters in the federal halfway house, and
oh my God,
they lied to us. They're like, oh, he's not a predator. So my kids are coming to see me, and this guy is looking through the window staring at my kids, and I I was flipping out about it because, you know, growing up, my best friend, she changed her shirt in the window, and this guy became obsessed with her, like stalked her for years. Like, from the bus stop, was on the registry. She was like 35. She was like 12, dude. Like, I will never forget this because all that happened was one time. Just, you know, seeing, and she lived out in the country. Like, she was like out in the middle of nowhere. So, you know, the chances, you know, this guy was just always up at night and always creeping around. Like, he lived with his mother, like, was a sex offender. And she, just one time, seeing her one time, he stalked her for years. So, like, when I flipped out about this, they called my PO on me because I went all the way off. Like, they locked me in a room, like, all this stuff. My probation officer shows up and was like, dude, she's clearly triggered, and I don't blame her. This guy preferred children between the ages of 5 and 10. Little boys between the ages of 5 and 10. My son was 8. So you're, like, putting my kid in danger. He's not supposed to be within 100 feet of kids. And they're letting him just wander wherever the hell he wants. And I wasn't the only inmate flipping out about it. So this is what you have to deal with, you know, when you go to a halfway house. And
I'm going to say
awful.
this.
Like,
I'm going to say this real quick. With what you're mentioning, just regardless, okay, having to do with females, young females, you know, I have a daughter that I love to the moon and back. Just thinking of those type of scenarios, that's exactly why I carry a Glock 19X, folks. So...
Well, I'm a felon. I'm not allowed to anymore, but...
yeah, unfortunately.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I did. That's...
Yeah, and like these cops tried lying to us, saying he's not on the registry. My dad found him within, like, the first 5 minutes. And, like,
Dad's
he was doing
ability.
creepy, weird stuff. Yeah. And so, like, it was just downhill from there. And because my probation officer stuck up for me, like, they got the halfway house in trouble for this. So, like, what are you doing? Like, you're not even abiding by the sex offenders, you know. Like I was off. Like, I was ready to go back to jail. Like, I was flipping out over this. And, and then I relapsed over it because I'm like, what did I do? I just brought my kids here, you know, just to see me. And what if I just, you know, stick the predator on them that's going to stalk them, you know, like that guy did my friend. And so I ended up relapsing in the halfway house, and it just kind of went downhill from there. I ended up going back to jail. And believe me, I was more than happy to get out of there. Like, I refused to go back.
Like,
I told him, I was like,
I
will throw punches and freak out if you try to make me go back. And most people, you know, end up preferring going to jail over these halfway houses because they're so toxic, you know, they're so abusive, and, you know, it's just, they put you in danger. Like, I don't, like, half those dudes there scared the shit out of me. Like, this one guy, like, they got mad at me because I wouldn't go apply for the job where he worked. But you had to walk down, like, this path to get to this restaurant, and the guy freaked me out. Come to find out, he had a rape charge.
Oh my
God.
What?
You know.
Wow.
I mean,
and so they like called me lazy and said I wasn't cooperating, and, you know, I wasn't getting a job.
I'm
and I'm like,
sorry,
I'm
not cooperating with a
there.
rapist.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So did you feel scared when you first got out of prison?
Getting back to
like
normal.
Really overwhelming. Like,
okay.
Yeah, just being in a car, like, I almost freaked out on the officer. I was like, what are you doing? You're driving like 100 miles an hour. Like, it felt so fast to me. And then I look over and she's going like 45. So, I mean, it really, like, messed me up.
I did that once when I used to smoke marijuana.
So with all the physical and mental abuse of your experience, how do you deal with it today? Like, how has it affected you?
What's your coping mechanism?
You know, I like ASMR and, you know, meditation a lot. My friend has a really good channel, actually, Ryan Mooney ASMR. He's got some great stuff, and it's really relaxing. And I can send you his link too.
That'd be awesome.
Also, binaural beats, like, you can just, like, you know, you can listen to it as you go to sleep, and it, like, kind of helps calm your brain. So, you know, because, like, PTSD and nightmares and stuff like that, like, it's rough.
Yeah,
to
you
deal
told
with.
me about the binaural
also,
beats, and that's how I got Mackenzie to go back to sleep finally.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I discovered ASMR, oh my gosh, like 5-6 years ago. and it was this guy who would just write
with
calligraphy with a pen, and it blew me away, and my mind was like so at peace, and like I would just fall asleep like a little baby, and it was so weird. And there's multiple other sites too. Like it's not just that; it's what Elizabeth is talking about as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, don't you have an art or something like that too that does that?
Yeah, well, there's this type of, I'm actually creating an adult coloring book. There was this type of art I did in county jail called Zen Tango art, and it's like meditative doodling, and it really helped me with like distraction and everything. So I'm going to put like tips and, you know, stuff I learned about trauma in this like adult coloring book. It's just going to be like a little tool, you know, to help people and help distract them when, you know, they're getting triggered or they're trying to avoid relapse, you know, stuff like that.
Okay.
Do you
have?
I was going to say,
go for it.
Do you have anybody backing you up financially or sponsoring you the things that you're trying to do?
No, I got a grant last year, and that's how like I got a bunch of inventory and like started getting it sold in stores. But like the economy up in Maine wasn't that good, so I didn't really make a lot of money up there. But you know, Texas is a lot better.
Right.
But yeah, I did get a grant. I've just been going on podcasts and you know telling the story behind it, and you know trying to raise awareness.
It's definitely
and,
the way to
you know,
go.
Sell it that way.
So, have you ever thought of actually writing a book about your story?
Oh, I am writing a book.
Okay.
It's called No Justice, Just Us. I'm in the editing process, and that has proved to be like the hardest part of writing this book. I actually started writing it in prison, but yeah, it's all done. I'm just editing it, and I'm trying to get it like ready for self-publish. So yeah, I'll definitely hit you guys up for that when it does come out.
No Justice, Just Us?
Yep. The very first jail cell I was ever in, it said there's no justice in the system. It's just us in the system.
Now,
okay.
Is this more of like your personal experience or an overall sort of thing?
Oh no, this is my personal experience, and like from basically me going on the run till up to now. That's basically what the book covers, and I get into like how you know the prison's one big money system, and like I go into like great detail about it.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, so you'll have a written version as well, not just audible.
Right.
That's
so. How has all of this changed your life?
Yeah. Bottom line.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely not the social butterfly I used to be. Like, I used to go out and, like, have friends. Like, now I'm pretty much just a homebody, and I like to paint and, you know, work on my book and, you know, kind of live, like, a quiet life. And,
I hear you on that.
It basically ruined my illusion of what I thought America was. Like, I used to think, you know, America had no racism and that was something of the past and civil rights movement. But now everything's good. Like, no, it's not. Like, it's really, you know, we have a really bad race class system in here. And, I mean, I saw the paperwork. Black people get longer sentences for, you know, basically the same crimes. Like, I mean, the things I saw in there were just horrifying. Like,
wow.
It's just not what I thought America was.
I gotta disagree with you again.
Well,
but you know what? We can disagree. It's okay.
Right.
But I think the work that you're doing is, you know, this is something that people really need to know about.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't like...
Right, I mean...
You know, you're not making like a stuffed animal here. This is something that people need to know about, the knowledge, what you went through, to understand what happens on the inside, and how it's such a completely different world from what you would call law enforcement out in the real world.
Yeah, and how do you think of law enforcement
Right, I mean-
now out in the real world?
There's a question.
I get terrified of them. I literally like flip a coin in my head, like whether they're a rapist or not. And like I know that's no way to like actually figure it out,
Yeah.
but like it's just scary. Like everything I saw, everything I went through, it just, it all comes back at once, and I'm terrified.
I
Like,
can
we were
understand.
working on a bill in Maine. Like there was this cop up in Calais. He got busted. Giving drugs to a 16-year-old girl to give to her mother who was, doing sexual favors for the drugs. And, that's actually what started me on this whole advocacy thing, because I called the DA up and I'm like, why didn't you charge him with a sex crime? Like, he extorted her addiction. He's a cop of 30 years. He knows what addiction is. And he's, not only is he involving kids in this, like, he's extorting her. And, he goes, you know what, I agree with you, and you made some really good points, but the way the law is written, it was consent. And I'm like, well, as a woman who's been to prison, if a cop were to come on to me, the only thing I'd be thinking is, what am I going to jail for when I say no?
Right. That's the thing.
I mean, there's
it's so unfortunate that you had to experience all this horse shit.
Yeah, it is.
Because to you now, like you said, you flip a coin in your head now. It's,
Gets you second guessing.
Yes. And it makes good cops, which a majority of law enforcement are good, okay? But it gives you this sense of insecurity and, this and that. And it just shouldn't be that way.
No.
I feel
I got a solution.
Bad. Go
What's
ahead.
the solution?
I got a solution, though. Like, and this is what I brought up, because, correctional officers, there's no such thing as consent because of the power, and, inmates are literally captives.
Right.
So, there's no such thing as consent, even if the inmate came on him. Cops should be the same way, because there's a power difference, and, they shouldn't be using, taxpayers' money to get sexually gratified on the job anyway. Like, what you do off,
And again, you're talking about the bad cops.
Yep.
Right, but it would save the good cops some trouble.
Right. Exactly.
If you just did away with that, it would cut a clear line. Like, okay, because right now there's cops, giving women really big fines that don't blow them. Instead, you could go home without a ticket, but that shouldn't be happening. Like, these are the things that that would do away with. Like, there's no question of consent or not, and how many women are just going to say yes because they're scared of what they'll do to them if they say no.
Exactly. Yeah.
I got to be thankful that we live in a small town, and things like that do not happen here. But the cities, the bigger places, obviously there's bad apples there, and that does take place. And they're attempting to weed those type of individuals out, and it's going to be a process. But no, you're absolutely right about what truly goes on with some of these bad individuals who get addicted to authority.
Right. Real quick, Elizabeth, before we go, do you have an email or anything where everyone can get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram and TikTok, and the handle is, I'm on Twitter too, but I never go on there because I end up arguing with people. It's really toxic now. But my handle is EPM_art_1111. And you can see my art, and, it's got, some of the clothing on there, and I talk about, the violence against women in prison on TikTok. So if y'all want more stories about that.
Okay.
Okay.
It's okay to put that on our sites then for you?
Yeah.
So now the EPM_ART_1111, is that on all of the sites? Or
on
just TikTok?
Instagram and TikTok.
Instagram and TikTok.
Do you have a Facebook?
I do, but I don't really use it for. I don't have one for my art yet. I just have a personal one, and I don't.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, I totally understand that. Okay.
Facebook is it's too easy to get your account hacked. That's like what
yeah.
I really want to make one.
Just ask Jennifer about that one.
Yep.
Let me say, Nigerians murder death.
Yeah. Nigerians got my Facebook.
Dude, yeah. They hacked mine and put a picture of a black guy, and then Facebook said they couldn't verify if it was me or not. Like, I sent them my ID and everything. I'm like, dude, I'm clearly not a black guy.
Yeah.
I
Last time I checked, I was an African American
on the planet.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. We called the FBI and we called Interpol to go after these guys.
Did the FBI even do anything?
They actually took a case number.
Yeah,
and
they took the
they
case
were looking
number.
into it. But these guys, they stopped. It's almost as if they knew that we were doing something about it, like being watched.
No, they didn't stop. They're still there.
Well, they've stopped messing with me.
They put a new picture out on one of my profiles.
Yeah, like some girl that's not even you.
Yep.
You know. The sad part about it is
crazy.
that our daughter.
Facebook can't figure it out.
Oh no, Facebook
man.
can't figure it out, and I don't know if they really even care.
No, I had to fight with them actually
No, they
to get a
don't.
new account.
Yeah, finally she got a new account, but everything over the past 4 or 5
4 or 5 years, yeah.
just gone. That just shows how reliant we are on technology.
Yep.
It'll take
and
one
media
EMP.
sites and-
Right, exactly. One EMP, your whole life's gone.
Yep.
But no, I had a wonderful time talking with you.
Yes, I did too.
I
yeah,
actually
it's good talking to you guys too.
Yeah, this was great. I would really like you to return to the show. I like some of the ideas that you have, and your creativity and things of that nature, and what you're fighting for is very important. Okay, and I would love to have you back on the show. Jennifer, do you have anything to say about that?
Yes, I'd actually love to have you back on the show, and I'd like to know more about your art. And you said that you've also got like a spiritual side too, right?
There you go.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've had like weird spiritual things happen to me. Like when I was in prison, like I had my mental health weaponized against me. They all just told me I was crazy, but like in prison on Thanksgiving, like I hadn't thought about, a friend of mine for a long time. All of a sudden I started having these like crazy dreams. Like that him and I were like fighting our way through stuff, and this went on for 3 nights, and on the third night we were like in this car, and it was kind of cartoony, and we're like driving, just talking about the good times and reminiscing, and then we got to this triple fork in the road, and there was like gray mist, and I was like, you gotta go, like you can't stay here, like that's Canada, like that's where you gotta go. Like for all I knew, like kind of felt like he was on the run, like maybe that's just how my brain was like processing it. And like he looks at me and he looks into the mist. Then he goes into the mist, and I stopped having dreams about him. And then on Christmas, I call home, and my friend's like, dude, Anthony died, like, horribly. Like, he got hit by a car, like, had to be life-flighted. His chest was open. Like, it was horrible.
Oh, my
so, like,
God.
and I'm like, when did this happen? And they said on Thanksgiving night. That was the night the dream started. And for 3 nights in a row, like, I had these weird dreams. And then when I came home and I finally got out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, when I finally came home, I ran into our mutual friend, Julia, and she's like, Beth, I was, like, at his funeral, and I can always feel, she's very spiritual. She's an empath, always been able, like, very intuitive. And she goes, I couldn't feel him at all. Like, he was just gone. Like, I always feel, the presence of people, our friends, like, that I'm close to. Yeah. And he was just gone. And it was, like, weird because, before I even, like, thought of it, it literally, like, came out of my mouth, and I said, yeah, I know, I watched him go. And it was, like, I was shocked that I said it, but it was, like, it just kind of came out of my mouth, like, before I even thought, of anything.
Wow.
So I've had, like, weird stuff like that happen
Well,
to me.
I would absolutely love to talk about that type of stuff and much, much more, but unfortunately we're running out of time right now, but we definitely want you back.
Yes,
okay?
and we will be in touch.
Definitely.
Okay, sounds good. Elizabeth, you have a great night, and we will be talking to you soon.
Sounds good. Have a good
All
night,
right.
Elizabeth.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
No
You're
problem.
welcome.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Good night.
All right, so that was Elizabeth. We don't have much time left. We gotta go. This has been another edition of NTRN. See y'all later.
Tip of the iceberg, a love and devotion. You still rock my world. No exit to this maze. Every hope that I had is long gone. These nights we've been fighting, sick of pretending that we'll see the light of dawn. Look at me, look at you. Boy, you crossed the line, now time out. Look at this, look what we've become. Oh baby, look at me, look at you. Done playing games. Time for changes, make or break now. Drop the act, oh. This rate talk is meaningless, gonna. Cause we fragile like candles in a strong wind out. Tell me baby, can I even call you that? The way we clash, damn, baby, I just wanna see you go. Tyrant, 너무 힘들어. 너도 알잖아, 이만큼 더 의미 없는 거. 밤새 이 분위기는 참 불편해. 거친 우리 말투 이제 그만해도 돼.